Ooh, welcome in. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. Happy to be with you, and so happy to be with you on the day after the primary election. So I'm in Michigan now. Of course, I was in St. Louis there for a long time, but it seems like there's a lot of interest in this Abdul El-Sayed, who just won the nominee, the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate, beating Congresswoman Haley Stevens. I was on yesterday with Mark Reardon, who had me on his show. He was talking a lot about it. I know there's a lot of interest in him right now. I just surprises me how much national interest he has. And Brad, I see your face. I don't know why my camera disconnected. It was just fine there.
I was gonna say I just lost your camera,
and it said looks like your camera was unplugged. How does that happen? I'll try to fix it here during the break. But good to be with you here this week, Brad.
Yeah, good to be with you too, Ryan.
So Abdul El-Sayed, I think a lot of people may have had interest in him nationally because there's this love affair that Democrats are having with socialists as of late. And it seems like very radical candidates that they are putting up continue to win when put up in comparison to someone that's more of a standard Democrat, someone that's more, I don't want to say a moderate Democrat, but I want to say someone that is more, I guess, your establishment style Democrat. And it made me think about the Republican Party in times where this may have happened. Is what's going on with progressives and moderates like the Tea Party movement? Do you think that's similar in ways?
In ways, I think so. I think that there's a definite dissatisfaction with the quote-unquote establishment, as it were. I think that people are tired of the status quo. I think that they want something different, and they're not having what the Democrats, in this instance, are serving up to them right now. They're just not interested in it. What they want is something, I don't know, I guess they want something more radical. They want something to change because they think that what has been going on right now isn't working for them. So I would say that very much compares to the Tea Party movement, although I think the Tea Party movement was more of a fiscal responsibility movement. Mm-hmm. But I think
so. This would be the opposite in bizarre world.
Well, I think what this would relate, as weird as it may sound, I think this would relate more to kind of the MAGA movement, where people, especially like Donald Trump, he tapped into the working class person that was saying, "Hey, the current system is killing us. You know, manufacturing jobs are going out. You know, open borders or free immigration, all of these other things, free trade. They wanted to protect their products with tariffs and stuff like that." You know, they're saying, hey, things aren't working. We're struggling. We need some change. And Donald Trump offered them something different. Mm-hmm. Socialists are doing the same thing. They're tapping into that same dissatisfaction. They're saying, hey, the current system isn't working for us, but they're catering to the people on the left. And they're saying, hey, we can force companies to pay you more. Hey, we can force them to give you stuff. We can force the government. We'll pay for your bills. You've got student loan debt. We'll force the government to pay for it. That way you don't have to do it. We'll give you health care. So they're saying we can change your life situation and we can do it in a radical way. So I think in that way it's a similar thing where they're tired of the status quo. The current system isn't working for them, and so they're looking for something different.
You talked about the fiscal responsibility that the Tea Party was basing themselves around. So currently this would be fiscal irresponsibility is what the progressives are basically looking at.
I wonder you're right about the MAGA movement because a lot of people were dissatisfied with the direction the country was going in, and they looked at Donald Trump and said, okay, we got to get things, we got to stop this boat from rocking back and forth because we're going to sink. And it's been pretty bad. So you get a Donald Trump in there. And man, did the progressives and the Democrats say, we like the boat rocking. So they wanted to rock it as hard as they could. And Joe Biden gets in there. And falls asleep behind the wheel. And everyone's basically picking the boat apart. They're getting what they can out of it because the captain's not paying attention. You get Donald Trump back in and saying, man, we have so much work to do. And they're still trying to rock the boat as much as possible. When you add the progressive side into it, and I know that Cory Bush did not get the nomination. There was a challenge there. And if you wanted to compare Abdul El-Sayed to Cory Bush, I feel like they're pretty similar in some of their stances, except El-Sayed is much better at packaging his messaging. He's very good at his calculated way how he answers things. But when it comes to the actual substance of what he believes and what he's endorsing, it's just as radical, maybe sometimes even a little bit worse. And I know Mark Reardon last night, he was playing some clips And he was going back and forth and talking about some of the more crazy things that Abdul El-Sayed said. The thing is, he's even crazier than that because there's a lot more that goes into it. He's a nice guy on the surface. You can talk to him and be like, oh, that guy's pretty pleasant to talk to. What does he believe in? And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is so different than the outward appearance that he's giving. And it is so entranced. Like, people are just in a trance when they see him. And they just like, it's like they're under some sort of spell in the sense that they look at him as the perfect type of politician when his actual stances on the issues are just so far left. It surprises me that he's getting endorsements from Haley Stevens, the person that he beat, because she's more of like an establishment type person. All the establishment people were backing her. The governor, the sitting senator here, the one that has the open seat, he's retiring. So I thought, okay, they're going to try to maybe wait a little bit, but no, they're going right in and endorsing this guy, which really goes to show you, I think the Democrat Party understands that this is the future of their party, and they have to get on board or die.
Well, I don't know how much of it is this is the future of their party, but they think that whatever El-Sayed is going to bring to the table is going to be better than whatever the Republican alternative would be. Now, the question that Michigan has to answer is do they agree with that sentiment? I'm actually not surprised that the Democrat Party is endorsing them. You listen to guys like Bernie Sanders and stuff like that. I forget who it was that asked him this, but somebody asked Bernie Sanders, they said, this guy has had dinner and hung out with Hassan Piker, and Hassan Piker has said the United States deserved 9/11.
Yeah.
Like, do you agree with that?
Sad.
And Bernie Sanders' response was awful. He said, now, we got to be careful about the way we talk about those things, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but we are a big tent party. So this is the line you're going to hear from Democrats. We're a big tent party. So we got to welcome everybody in. And it's like, man, you don't. You don't have to let these people in, but they are, because they would rather have a socialist in office than a Republican.
Right. It's fascinating. I think a lot of times Republicans are quick to bring in people based on individual beliefs that they may have. And I'll give you an example.
When Kanye West was going crazy, everything Kanye West believed in, you're like, I'm not really behind this. But then all of a sudden he likes Donald Trump, and they're like, oh, look at that, we got Kanye West. That was a trap for Republicans, because ultimately they were still trying to associate themselves with a crazy person. Not the best way to try to handle things. That is what the Democrat Party is playing with. They're playing with fire with some of these different candidates. Right. I wouldn't say Mamdani is just doing a bang-up job in New York right now.
No.
I wouldn't say that a lot of these different progressives that continue to, perhaps tout their record, they're good at getting in front of a camera. The AOCs of the world are good at getting in front of a camera. Rashida Tlaib's, they're good at getting in front of a camera. When it comes to substance of the things they're doing, few and far between, because mostly if you even agree with them on one or two things, they're going to go and just absolutely slap you in the face with something absurd after that. And it's so hard to be like, okay, I can't take you seriously. It's so hard to look at them as candidates that you would ever try to agree with. So that's kind of where we are today as we set up the November election. It's going to be a big one. What do you think Donald Trump's effect's going to be in this November election? Because he's not on the ballot. So sometimes people will show up to the polls just because Donald Trump is on it. So you don't get the down ballot voting that you would normally get for Republicans there. Do you think this is going to be a tough matchup for some of them? For
some Republicans, it'll be a tough matchup. I think that it's going to be better than what people are looking at. I saw a post today. What was the polls? What were they showing El-Sayed at? 15 plus 15 or whatever?
I would have to look.
And some of the polls were showing that. And then what did he win by, like a percentage? 1%
at the last. Oh, you're talking about I thought you were talking about for this upcoming one.
Yeah.
No, there was an Emerson poll that came out. They had him up by about 15. I called shenanigans on that.
Absolutely.
When you get a poll that drops like a day or two before an election and one candidate's way up, that's like, okay, you should have learned your lesson because you tried to pull that with Hillary Clinton. It's a terrible strategy because you're going to look so foolish when it doesn't play out. But I did know that the momentum was on El-Sayed's side. All the momentum was there, but he was going up against established politicians that were well liked in Michigan, like Governor Gretchen Whitmer. So I thought, okay, it's going to be a really close one. And, when I was on with Mark Reardon last night, I told him that poll I don't believe it. I think this is going to be really, really close. This morning, it took until, 11 o'clock maybe? There was the news that they finally called it for El Sayed. So at last check, there was only about a percentage point difference between the two, and I think they're still counting the votes. So it's a close one here, and I think people just want to know how progressive is America turning, and they're using this as somewhat of a litmus test. Are we going to be joined by Eben Brown coming up after the break? That's going to be exciting. Fox News Radio national correspondent. By the way, we do have the YouTube live chat poll up. Brad, what's the topic today?
The question is, and this is prompted off of something we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, but should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? We only going to give you two answers here, yes or no, but our text line is open at 314-241-9797. You can text us yes and why or no and why, and I'll be monitoring that. Or you can leave a comment on the YouTube page telling us yes and why and no or why.
Well, wait till you see the way we talk about this later. Eben Brown, Fox News Radio, coming up after the break. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey, 97.1 FM Talk.
Neovitin Men's 50 Plus is a doctor-formulated daily multivitamin designed to support everyday wellness with just 2 tablets a day. You can subscribe at neovitin.com for convenient monthly delivery right to your door, or find Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Deerbirds or Schnucks. All Neovitin vitamins are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility in the USA and are designed for real, everyday routines. Make nutrition easy with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Injured in a rideshare accident? Whether you're driving or riding, Kaufman Townsley knows how to handle these tough cases. We fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Kaufman Townsley. Real people. Real results. Call 314-777-7777.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Baron Mirror Glass and Door, simply the finest when it comes to glass, mirror, and shower doors. Why? That's easy. Our sales staff and installation team consist of decades and decades of knowledge, consistently keeping updated on all of the industry's newest and greatest ideas, which of course means you get the best advice along with the best installation. One trip to Chesterfield Valley will show you why our prices aren't the only reason to buy from us. That's Baron Mirror Glass and Door.
As retirement gets closer, the wrong amount of risk can become a much bigger problem. You can listen to the Financial Safari with local trusted advisor Greg Belger, Saturdays at 1 p.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. That song you played, do you remember when that band recorded versions of it for talk shows across the country? So this would have been like mid-2000s maybe? And that is Good Charlotte, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And I think they had a agreement with Clear Channel, and all their talk show hosts could put their own lyrics in, and Good Charlotte would record it for their intros. So you had that song for 20 talk shows across the country, their own local version of it. So whenever I hear the regular version, it's kind of like, okay, talk radio took it over after a certain point. Joining us now on the Annie Frey Show, I'm Rya Wrecker filling in, is Fox News Radio national correspondent Eben Brown. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, we have a day after the primary election. I don't know if there's too many surprises. In some ways, the polling, like I'm here in Michigan now, even though the show's here in St. Louis, and I worked on the station for a while, but I'm in Michigan, and of course, Abdul El-Sayed is something that has really grabbed national headlines because how progressive he is. And it seems like that is the question a lot of people are asking when it comes to the Democratic Party. Is it going to be the party of the progressives here soon?
Well, outside of the team name progressive, what does progressive mean?
I would say far left.
Referred to as, you might as well call them the Yankees or something, or I'm sorry, St. Louis. Forgive me, but the
Cardinals, yeah.
Cardinals. Sorry, I had to think about it. I'm not a sports guy. But the point is that I don't know what these words really mean anymore. What is he progressive about? Progressively anti-Semitic?
Part of it, he doesn't say he is, but
they never really do. So that's the thing. Their beef, if you will, is never with Jews; it's with Israel. But what is Israel? The nation of the Jews. So, for instance, can you, if you're anti-Ireland, can you still be pro-Irish?
Well, there's another side note to this, and I don't think this got a lot of national attention. So here in Michigan, there were attacks on synagogues, and there were attacks on Jewish leaders in the community, including people associated at high-ranking levels at the University of Michigan. Jordan Acker comes to mind. And what you had were groups of people that were vandalizing and attacking them in their own homes. And as it turns out, one of the staff members of Abdul El-Sayed was those indicted for it, attacking Jewish people in their homes here in Michigan. That did not seem to get a lot of national headlines, but it shows you that's the type of people he's associating with.
We call that a pogrom.
You'll have to explain that.
A pogrom is a lynching of Jews, started in Europe.
I see. I wasn't familiar with that term. So that
I
is
wish
terrible.
More people were, because it was something that ran rampant in Ukraine and Poland and Germany, in Austria, all throughout World War II, and leading up to it. The idea, let me tell you about a pogrom that my grandparents survived. They survived it by hiding under the bed, locking the doors and keeping the lights out. And the mob that had been going house to house and dragging Jews out of the house in their town of Boryslaw, Poland, and pulling them out into the streets and beating them, that mob passed by their house. They thought the house was empty. That's a pogrom.
You'll have to explain why so many people are entranced by the smile that they overlook things like that.
I can't explain. If I could explain it, I'd be a very rich man.
It's hard to.
But the idea here, or the cyclical pattern, I should say, of history, is that when people get discontented, they start blaming Jews, and it's so very easily they justify it to themselves one way or the other. They frame it in terms of politics and class struggle. That's the new thing. Or maybe the Jews killed Christ and they deserve it, or something like that. I don't know. It recycles over and over again with with just some different thematic elements based on politics or some other kind of social issue, and it gets recycled, and now we're back in it once again. Now we're in it in the United States, which is pretty scary, but here we are. And Abdul El-Sayed, who now wants you to call him by his full name, as he said this morning, Abdul Rahman Mohammed El-Sayed, he wants you to use that name now. He says if you can't pronounce his name, you should keep his name out of your mouth. Those are his words this morning at his speech. Okay? That was, by the way, after calling Israel bloodthirsty on an MS Now or MS Right Now interview that he did earlier, or was it yesterday?
Well, so he also had Hassan Piker there at his party last night too.
Well,
and the things that he associated with.
Yeah, well, they're kind of, they share a brain on this. So the thing is that now look, vile people such as this, people who say vile things, have existed for a long time, and at times, sometimes you find them on the left, you find them on the right, and they get certain social power, panache. Maybe they even get elected. Happens. What's interesting to me is that in a statewide race in Michigan, and you say you're in Michigan, the Democratic Party, by a little bit more than half, picked this guy as a nominee. This is not a congressional district. It's not a city picking a mayor or part of a city picking a city councilman or councilwoman. This is a statewide. Now, granted, it's the summer. It's a partisan primary. It's not a presidential year. There's probably not the biggest turnout or widespread turnout as you would normally see in a presidential year. But half the voters voting in a partisan statewide primary in Michigan picked this guy. All right. I think he won by 48.5% to Haley Stevens, 47.5%. And there was a third candidate who got a couple percentage points, something like that. So it is enough, right? This person was not wholly rejected by statewide Democrats choosing to participate in the primary. So what this means is that the party is now having to really deal with the fact that they have engendered extremist voters within their ranks for a number of years now, because as they have lost middle America over the past, let's say, 30, 40 years, they have engendered themselves to extreme radical elements. Back in the 1990s, it was the environmentalists. They were going after those guys. They were the greenest green party you could ever imagine. And the Republicans were the polluters, and that's how they were going to win over the environmentalist vote. And then it turned into going after feminist votes. And then it became the Black Lives Matter crowd, and now it's these guys. So they have created this mess for themselves. And the question is will Democratic leaders, establishment Democratic leaders, actually say, all right, enough is enough. We can't stand with this. Would there be an establishment Democrat who finds himself on the outs right now, besides John Fetterman, who might actually, cross party lines and endorse a Republican or just stay out of it? Historically speaking, that won't happen because Democrats very famously coalesce. All right. Bernie Sanders, the grandfather of what we're going through right now with the Democratic Party, still backed Hillary Clinton, still backed Joe Biden, still backed Kamala Harris, right? So that, the Democrats coalesce in a way Republicans don't. Republicans are very quick to take their ball and go home when their guy doesn't get nominated.
Yep.
It took Nikki Haley until the night of the Republican National Convention to endorse Donald Trump in his reelection bid. And even that wasn't assured to happen. Remember that.
Right. Well, the establishment side of it, and this is really a crossroads for the Democratic Party because going back to Michigan, there's a governor here by the name of Gretchen Whitmer, and a lot of people believe if she were to run for president, she would give the nomination a run for its money. They think she would do pretty well. So let's say you do endorse someone that is so far left. Is that going to hurt your chances in the future? So I think a lot of Democrats are maybe looking at this and saying, we have to decide, are we going in or not? And this is really a crossroads for them.
It's a really great question because do they think in that terms, or are they thinking in the here, right now, and what's popular? And my example for this just came across my inbox about 25 minutes ago, and it was an email from the campaign of Kamala Harris, from her KamalaHarris.com, email address. And what was she doing? Fundraising for Abdul El-Sayed.
Wow. Already, my goodness.
Go. Didn't take too long. Now these things are all coordinated in advance. It's not that, but the point is that, the person who was once vice president of the United States, who was shoved right into the party's nominee for president when her boss was, obviously incapacitated and couldn't continue the campaign. She is okay to throw her lots in with this guy because he's popular right now.
Mm-hmm. I think
or at least popular in the scope of Michigan politics, Michigan Democratic Party politics.
Yeah, that's just one of many that happened yesterday. Maybe there'll be a little bit of magic here in the general election in November. By the way, if people wanted to look you up or some of the things you're reporting on social media, things like that, where can they find you?
Fox Eben Brown is my X account. It's pretty much the only thing I really use. So not that I have a lot of bangers there or anything like that, but that's where.
Bangers referring to stories? What was it? What would it be, like photos, dog
whatever,
pictures?
Hot takes or whatever. I mean, sometimes I attempt to do that to see if I actually get any traction, but I never do. So it's
all right, here's a hot take.
Thankfully, I don't rely on that for my my income.
All right, here's a hot take. Maybe you can tell me. I saw this on the news this morning that some people are doing a viral trend that they dip their McDonald's double cheeseburger in the soda before eating it, kind of like a eating contest. Would you ever dip a burger in a soda?
God, no.
No, it sounds disgusting.
Who the hell would do such a thing?
Well, kids, I'm watching videos online of people doing this. They pretend it's good.
I got tired of eating the Tide Pods or something. This is...
I hope it tastes better than a Tide Pod. Eben Brown, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.
Fox News Radio national correspondent Eben Brown. Go find him at Fox Eben Brown online. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey on 97.1 FM Talk.
You to come join us Tuesday, August 11th at the Doubletree Chesterfield for our next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Free event, a quick evening. It says seminar. It is a seminar, but it doesn't take forever. You're going to be out of there by 7:30 p.m. You sit down at 6:30, get there early, and I'd love the opportunity to chat with you and kind of get to know you a little bit more. And you're going to learn how to plan for the transition into retirement. Of course, you've been saving for quite a long time, late 50s, early 60s, maybe mid 60s. I don't know, maybe you're in your 70s and you're still working your tail off. Good for you. If you have been thinking, I think it's time, I want to know what I need to do, what kind of strategy I need to have to get into retirement, this is the event for you. At the Doubletree Chesterfield, starts at 6:30. I get there at 6, and I'd love the opportunity to meet you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? Two options here, yes or no. You can text us at 314-241-9797. I'm monitoring that text line, and I'm looking for your answers there. You can also jump on Annie's YouTube page, youtube.com/Annie Frey, at Annie Frey, sorry. And you can vote there, and you can leave us a comment there. I'm starring those as well. One of the comments that I have here says that it seems like massive debt is always a bad idea. So jump on the channel. Shoot us a text at 314-241-9797. Tell us what you're voting, yes and why, or no and why, and we might read that comment on the air. The time is 12:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
And welcome back. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. Make sure to go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. I like that, Brad, you mentioned there's people voting in it now, which is good, and you'll find out soon, mostly because we have a audio clip of someone that was asking people how much debt are you in while on vacation, and it's not looking good. It boggles my mind in some ways. And then can you count student loans as part of that? So let's say you have a mortgage. Okay, that means you're in debt. Should you be on vacation if you're paying off the house, or should you just apply that to the principal? There's a lot of different ways to look at it, and I think Dave Ramsey would probably have a different way of looking at it too than the people that was interviewed, which we will talk about. So do you see there's an update to the story about the Canadian that went in and punched the teenage girl that she got in trouble in New Jersey doing this?
I did.
She picked a great spot, New Jersey Boardwalk. If you want to be trashy, man, go punch someone at a New Jersey Boardwalk.
So you talked about this story, and then it was that evening I started seeing videos of the attack. So this lady was crazy.
Yep. And just in general, the visitors from Canada that came to New Jersey on the boardwalk and saw something that they didn't like, someone wearing, what was it, a Donald Trump hat or a shirt or something, just this teenage girl, by the way, and they go up and she comes slapping. So it shows a picture of the two Canadians that were in town, in the country. And I got to say, they look so trashy. Can I mention that if you're walking around and you have like full sleeve tattoos on your arms and legs, and you're wearing like a cutoff shirt like you just came from the gym, but you don't have muscles like you work out, that's not a good look. And she comes walking in, and she's got what looks like a mini skirt jean with chains, and she's got like the dyed hair, and I can't tell, but if I had to guess, there's probably piercings on her nose, and she's wearing like this jean vest with some sort of like bra or something underneath it, so kind of like a small shirt underneath, and she's just flipping off the bird at people that are taking pictures of her as she goes and attacks these teens on the boardwalk. One, if you're attacking teens on the boardwalk in New Jersey and you're Canadian, I'm going to automatically pick the New Jersey resident as the winner of that fight. I would not pick the Canadian.
Here's the other thing. If you are an adult attacking teens, I'm against you. Don't do it.
Easy. So here's the update to that story. The lefty Canadian, and this is how they put it in New York Post, illegal immigrant who attacked a teen in patriotic clothing, New Jersey boardwalk, is getting the boot back to Canuck.
She was an illegal immigrant.
Boot and Canuck, I tried to make it, but it's Canuck, but Canuck kind of sounds better.
Back to Canuck. Listen, we need to talk about some things.
Yeah. So a Texas immigration judge ordered Caitlin Tracy to be deported back to her home country of Canada because they slapped a teen assaulting them on the 4th of July weekend across the boardwalk. So she's 33 years old, slaps the teen, and here's another picture of her. Yep, she did have the nose ring. I should have known there was some piercing somewhere in that nose. Does not look great. And the New York Post had the headline, "The Hate White North."
That's a good one. I think I know what Daniel should call this segment. The Hate White North. Oh, man.
The Hate White North.
I'm going to write that down.
So that's pretty good. New York Post they could put out some great headlines in there too. So that's the resolving the Canadian, getting her out of the country. Now it's become a national, I guess, would you say, embarrassment for Canada, or do you think they not care about this?
Man, I think that there are certain Canadians that are like, she's an embarrassment. But then there are other ones like, this is so wrong. She was just fighting hate with more hate. Is my understanding that she was the illegal immigrant and her husband is American?
I thought they had family here, and that's why his family. I think that's what it was.
And she had overstayed her visa or green card?
Good question. I think it was a visa, if I remember correctly. I'll have to go back and double check that though. You think it was a green card?
I don't remember. Like, you see, my recollection whenever I read this story was her husband was an American citizen, and he's like, "Listen, I don't want to lose my wife back to Canada and have her kicked out, and then us not get together."
Yeah.
Or be able to get. So he's like, "I'm going to have to move back to Canada if they do this." And it's like, your wife slapped a teenage girl over her political statement on her shirt. Yeah. Your wife doesn't need to be here if she's an illegal. She doesn't need to be here. She definitely doesn't need to be here if she's an illegal immigrant.
I heard the wildfires are beautiful this time of year in Canada, so good luck with that. There's another story, U.S. News report, Trump making a rare Western trip to raise cash for Republicans and talk about the economy. So he's going to go to California, Nevada, and it's a little bit different because I think the Republicans actually have some money when it comes to what they can do in this upcoming election. Democrat Party as a whole, are they still in debt from the whole Kamala Harris debacle? Because it's bad.
The last story I saw about Democrat debt is they had to put up their headquarters as collateral for a loan. Let's see if I can pull that up.
No way. They had to do a second mortgage on the headquarters. Oh, that's so bad. Well, just wait until we find out all this Act Blue stuff where they're money laundering into candidates. All these people that had no idea they were donating because they weren't, and it was being funneled through them. Wait till they, because that is being heavily monitored. You're not going to be able to have your money laundering schemes into these candidates this time around. I don't think it's going to be easy for them to recover from this.
Yeah, so the news report says that the Democrat National Committee had used its physical headquarters building located at 430 South Capitol Street in Washington, D.C. as collateral to secure a $15 to $20 million line of credit. And that was last week that I saw that. So to answer your question, yes, I think the Republicans have more cash in hand.
I think they're going to be in a much better spot. Well, because of the Democrats, you have the Bernie Sanders and the ones out there that say we rely on the $5 and $10 donations continue to help.
Once again,
you're going to have to because the big donors, they can't funnel this money through Act Blue and all these other organizations anymore.
It's and Donald Trump going out there, like he's going out to where California, and all
Nevada.
this stuff to talk to. I agree. You do have to go out there. You do have to talk to the people about the economy. You have to explain the plan and that the plan isn't complete yet. What you can't say to them is you are imagining this. The economy's great. What are you talking about? Because that's the same line that Joe Biden used during his entire presidency. The people, if they don't feel like the economy is working for them, they're not going to buy any line that you have to say no, you're imagining that. You have to acknowledge that people do not like where the economy is, and then you have to explain what you did and why that is good and why it's better to stick to the plan than to try to jump ship midstream.
Yeah, and if you're going to California, there's, easy targets. One, all you have to do is bring up the way they handled the wildfires, and you're talking about government management, and that was so poor, they tried to deny it. And go ahead and why don't you drive by some of those spots now and tell me if they're rebuilding? Oh, wait, they're not, because you have such big regulations in place that you won't even allow them to rebuild the homes that they can afford to rebuild. So what is that doing? They got these burned down lots and the government's telling them they can't build a home back on this property because you have to go through all these hoops that take so long. So this is what you're doing. You're driving people away based on your policies. A bunch of people have already left because of that. They're not going to come back. And if you want the entire government ran like that, then that's what you're going to get. And it's going to be a mess everywhere. So California, we want to help you. We want to help fix you. And the way you do that is then, that's where your pitch goes. I could see that being pretty easy. I think there's also a lot of people that are still upset. Homelessness, drugs, progressives in these large cities still don't want to reckon the way their cities have gone to garbage. So, and you have Gavin Newsom, I'm sure, is going to be out there just waiting to get in front of a camera, too. I think he's traveling out east. So you have Trump going west and Newsom east. He's going to be traveling to a couple of different spots, too.
Gavin Newsom's got a tough sell ahead of him.
Think so?
Tough sell. Yeah, because you can, I even go back to Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom debating the two economies of basically the model state for Republicans and the model state for Democrats. And that's when DeSantis pulled up the poop map of San Francisco and displayed it. But DeSantis dog walked Newsom on that. Because the facts are on his side. There's no argument that it is better. You're better off to live in Florida and you will be economically better off. They have some shortcomings. Don't hear me saying it's perfect. But it is way better than what it is trying to live in California. I know people that have moved to Illinois out of California. And they're saying, as bad as Illinois is, California is worse. So California is not doing great. And so Gavin Newsom's like, behold my record. And that's what he's got to run on, that big old steaming pile of crap on the left coast.
All right, hold on a second. You have to remind me about the poop map because I vaguely remember the poop map.
So
what was that?
It was a printout of San Francisco, and the poop map is wherever, like I guess it was an app or a website where people could report human feces on the sidewalk. And it put a little poop emoji in that spot on the map. And DeSantis printed it out, and it was just like little poop emojis all over the place. As
far as the eye can see.
Oh, it's awful. You should never have to walk down the street and see human feces on the sidewalk. That seems like a basic government function there.
Over and over and over again on top of that, because it's not just like, oh, is that? No, it's there because, the hyperbaric needle or whatever is sitting right next to it. And the person that probably just ejected, I don't know what the right word would be, but it rejected their bowels, what would that be? Vacated, is probably there too. So right next to the tent and the blankets and the shopping carts as you try to walk your kids to school in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Where's Tony Bennett? He needs to write a song about that real quick. They have their issues. There's a lot of issues in a lot of different places. It could be a warning map of what happens when some of these progressive policies are put in place, because it doesn't necessarily mean that, you get the politicians out there that say, if we were to just, cut spending to Israel and we would be able to afford Medicare and Medicaid for all, and all the people will be great and everything's going to become more affordable. What generally happens when we overinflate in our money and we give out great giant government handouts, how affordable do things get after that? And the answer is it doesn't. It actually gets a lot worse for everyone. And we need to just take a look at California as an example, because they're paying more than anyone else for gas and housing and cost of living. The only thing they don't pay more for, I think, is healthcare, because they subsidize so much of it already. But also, let's take a look at the illegal immigration problem that we're having and some of the money that is being fought to, I guess, supply and go back to those communities. California is someone that really wants to, try to find ways to continue to enable that type of community inside of their state, and as opposed to giving it and using the resources for taxpayers that are still struggling. Now, apply that nationwide. If you were to have that same sort of mindset, that really puts a lot of states in a tough spot, and it makes things worse by far. That's just a part of it, though. We'll see how Donald Trump plays out in California, Nevada. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of boos, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of protest, and we'll see what Gavin Newsom does to respond. I'm sure he'll get in front of a camera, and all we need to do is get the poop map back up. Maybe is it still there? Can we look up the poop map?
I'll see if I can find one.
All right. When we come back, my daughter is turning the big 6 here this month, and she had some ideas of what she wants to do for upcoming birthday party. I'm going to run by the 3 options she gave us, and I want you to tell me which one of these 3 options are the best for a 6-year-old's birthday party. Coming up after the break, I'm Rya Wrecker, 97.1 FM Talk.
Friday, September 11th from 5 to 9 a.m. at Chickenelli's in Eureka. We're raising funds for Focus Marines Foundation. Proceeds go straight to supporting our veterans. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Governments shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker. At Rya Wrecker on Twitter, Rya Wrecker Radio on Facebook. Brad, you said there's a theme to the music today. I'm not picking up on it yet.
It's each hour's bump music has a theme to it, and it's more of a genre thing than
the genre is music that you used to have to listen to by putting a cassette tape into your 98 Ford Taurus.
Maybe that's a little specific, but I think all these songs would have had cassettes of them.
Yeah, maybe, or your cassette that you would use for your portable CD player because you couldn't afford,
or your CD
one in your car.
Yeah, your Walkman that your buddy with the CD player recorded onto a cassette for you.
That's right, or off the radio.
Yeah,
with
so
the
first
cropped
artist,
out DJ.
The first artist was
Good Charlotte,
Blink 182, then
Blink
Good
182.
Charlotte, and then The Offspring, and then Sum 41.
Don't know what the connection is. It's just alternative music, I guess.
Pop punk.
Pop punk. You got me. Pop punk. All right, so each hour has its own theme.
Yes.
I missed the first one. I can still rebound and get the next two.
2 out
if
of
I'm
3
lucky.
ain't bad.
Yep. So my daughter is turning 6 here in a few weeks. She's got a birthday party. I think she's got 11 people coming to the party, and she needs a theme for that party.
Okay.
So with the theme, she gave us an idea of what she would want, and there's actually 3 options she gave us. Option number 1, Pokemon. Option number 2, Toy Story. Option number 3, Jesus.
Ooh, that's tough.
I've never heard of a child birthday party themed with Jesus. Now, you can if it's like, like a church gathering or something like that. But for the sake of a girl's birthday party, I'm thinking, I don't even know how you would do that.
You would have to, you'd have to go like decoration-wise. You'd have to find a bunch of Easter decorations.
Yeah, my wife said the same thing. Easter decorations, essentially. So that's what we're down to. What do you think we should do for this birthday party?
She hasn't.
For her to come up with those on her own, by the way, it warmed my heart that she put Jesus in there.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I was like. Oh man, Ryan's raising them right. Yeah. So do you get to pick from the 3, or is she eventually going to narrow it down to one of them?
I think we figured out which one it's going to be, and we want her to really pick the one she wants the most. So we're still trying to figure it out. Okay, which one's, because we got time, and we already have it. The birthday party is at a bakery.
Okay.
So the kids, they make their own pizzas, they make their own cakes, they put them right there, they bake them, do all this stuff. There's a little party room for it. It's kind of a unique, fun thing. She went to a birthday party there once, loved it so much she wanted to do it for herself. So we go in early, we decorate the place how we want to decorate it. So we already have the venue, we know what we're doing, we just don't know, okay, what are we going to set up then?
Yeah. To do the Jesus theme, I would go, Easter decorations, because a lot of that stuff will be, that sort of thing. Yeah. If you did Pokemon, I'm sure,
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like when you're doing that, you could like cakes and pizzas, you could theme those toward whatever it is. You got to be careful with the Jesus one, because then you could be getting a little sacrilegious in that sense.
Yeah. Right. You definitely don't want to be like that. You think you're mocking it. You know what I mean?
But they also have those little Jesus figurines that you see everywhere that people hand out. They
look like erasers, but they're not.
Yeah, you give those out. There's ways of doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever she wants.
How about in the chat, people that are watching the live feed right now? Let me know what I should try to do for my daughter there. One other story I wanted to bring this up real quick. Did you see the story about how the guy really wanted to go? He just was like, man, I really, 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 really need to go get my hunting and fishing gear right now. So he hopped in his helicopter and went to Cabela's.
Okay.
And he parked the helicopter in the parking lot at Cabela's at an empty spot. And people are like, what's up with this? Apparently, it's not illegal to do this in some areas. If you have a helicopter and you can safely lift off and park and there's no one around you and it doesn't harm anyone, it's actually, you can do that. So the dude just like, I just don't want to drive, so I'm going to take the helicopter to Cabela's and back.
I mean, if I had my license in a helicopter, that's what I would be taking to work.
This is in Washington County. I think this is in Wisconsin. Yeah. And part of it is he's 69, 70-year-old pilot. He was 50 miles away. He said, this is faster than driving.
Oh, absolutely.
He did it. No problems. No arrests. No citations, no violations. Can you land a helicopter on the rooftop of the building here if no one's up there?
No, there's not enough room on our building because it's kind of like a offset thing, and there's a pool up there, and it's not a very big one, but there's a pool.
Yeah.
But I think you could land it on the parking garage.
The top of the parking garage would be awesome. Did you see? This reminded me of. Do you remember just a couple of years ago the former CEO of Anheuser-Busch that did the same thing, but he was drunk and he got arrested for it? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to operate a helicopter while intoxicated. I think that's a problem.
No, I think he didn't. If I remember correctly, officers are like, dude is too intoxicated to take off. He can't do this. Didn't he just like park in the middle of like where a bunch of people were, scaring them, of course? And I thought he had open containers even, if I remember correctly.
Idea. Well,
this would have.
I guess getting drunk, you don't make great decisions anyway.
I want to say this was, and I got to look up the year on this, but it was when I was working in St. Louis this happened. And I would tell people, the former CEO of Anheuser-Busch hopped in a helicopter, was drunk probably on the way there, definitely was on the way back because he got arrested. And no one believed me. They said, that doesn't happen. Like, no.
Not often.
That's St. Louis. It happens. All right. When we come back after the break, I want to ask the question to Deroy Murdock and some of the issues that we're facing here today. I think that when it comes to the justice system and where certain things are headed, it'll give a good perspective coming up on 97.1 FM Talk.
Great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
Suffering from knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, or tennis elbow caused by arthritis, inflammation, or an injury? STL Joint Relief, now open in St. Peter's, offers a non-surgical, non-narcotic solution that can provide lasting relief. Using advanced ultrasound guidance, we pinpoint the exact source of your pain, allowing for precise treatment that targets the problem, not just the symptoms. Best of all, STL Joint Relief accepts all insurance. Learn more and schedule your appointment at stljointrelief.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Too close for comfort. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. The FAA says Marine One, the military helicopter carrying President Trump, briefly came too close to departing passenger jet near Reagan National Airport yesterday. It was not a near miss, rather what's called a loss of separation incident.
When Marine One takes off, those planes are supposed to stop. Yesterday, when they were skids up at 2:33 p.m. from the ellipse, the planes didn't stop. The FAA says, based on our preliminary safety review, there was a momentary loss of separation, after which the aircraft continued to move away from one another. The air traffic controller was in contact with both the commercial pilot and Marine One pilot during the loss of separation. As the White House has said, the president was never in danger. We are continuing to review the incident and will implement any appropriate corrective actions based on our findings.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. The FAA imposed new rules after last year's deadly collision between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines jet, requiring greater separation between helicopters and planes around airports. Left-leaning Dr. Abdul El Sayed defeats Congresswoman Haley Stevens in the Michigan Democratic primary for an open U.S. Senate seat. He celebrated with supporters this morning.
My family immigrated to this country from a place where there is not democracy. You cannot just put your hand up and run. And the ability to do this, to have our voices heard, to select our leaders, it is a gift that sometimes we take for granted. So to have participated means so much.
El Sayed will face Republican Mike Rogers, a former congressman, in November. And the Dow is aiming for a record, up 463 points at this hour. Any gain for the day will top yesterday's record close. The S&P 500 won't make it probably, though it is headed lower. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Let's keep our weather.
And welcome back. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. Happy to be with you. If you get a second, go on the YouTube live chat poll and vote. Should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? This could be dividing. It's a yes or no question. Go vote now and watch the live feed, including with our guest here, nationally syndicated columnist Deroy Murdock. Thank you for joining us here in St. Louis.
Ryan, how are you? Great to talk to you.
Great. I was looking at one of your recent pieces on The Spectator, spectator.org, and the idea of the 1776 fund. And it just reminds me, there's so many of these different topics we're faced with right now. When it comes with such a narrow margin in the Senate and there even such a little bit of opposition inside of your own party, it seems to derail a lot of things that could be happening. And this fund seems to be one of it. I want to know, some Republicans, including those that you mentioned in the article, like Senator Tillis from North Carolina, who's getting a lot of play right now, are completely against this 1776 fund. What would you say to them?
Yeah, well, the fund per se, I think, is kaput now. In order to get Todd Blanche approved and out of the Senate Judiciary Committee to go on to be voted on as our next Attorney General, both Tom Tillis of North Carolina and John Cornyn of Texas said they were opposed to this $1.776 billion fund that came out of President Trump's settlement with the IRS. And the idea was this money would be put aside and made available for victims of government weaponization, including victims from the Russia hoax who've suffered tremendously. And these guys basically swallowed the Democrat talking points, which are, oh my God, this is just Trump helping his friends. And, you know, he wants to give money to the January 6th people who did the attack on the Capitol, et cetera, et cetera. And they just basically parroted the Democrat talking points and screamed and yelled in order to get Todd Blanche out of the Judiciary Committee. The Justice Department finally relented and said that the fund would be shut down, which I guess it is at this point. The good news is there's something called the Judgment Fund, which is totally different. It was started under President Eisenhower, and that's a fund available to pay people who have suffered whatever kind of physical or other injuries from the federal government. When the federal government loses lawsuits, the money comes out of that fund if there are no other funds available. And so that fund is available to compensate people like the seven I identified in my article who all went through the Russia hoax and have endured everything from tremendous legal fees, losses of their homes. In a couple of cases, they got so stressed out they got cancer. Two of them did. One of them is now dead from cancer. Unfortunately, his wife is a widow and his kids don't have a father. And people have really suffered very, very severely. And I wish that Tom Tillis and John Cornyn understood that was the concept here. Rather than fight President Trump, they should have worked with him in order to get compensation for these people who, particularly in the Russia hoax case, did nothing wrong. None of these people ever gave microfilm to the Russians. They didn't help the Russians interfere with the 2016 election. The whole Russia hoax was completely invented, made up. People like Adam Schiff ran around saying, "Oh, I've got evidence that Trump is a Russian agent." There was no such evidence. He completely lied through his teeth nonstop for 3 hours. Not 3 hours. I wish 3 years. I meant to say for 3 years. And the reward for him was not time in jail or loss of his seat, but in fact advancement to the U.S. Senate. So the Democrats pay no price for their perfidy in this kind of behavior, and unfortunately Republicans who get wrapped up in this sort of thing, even when they're innocent, end up either losing their homes, losing their fortunes, or in at least one case losing their lives.
Can I talk about Adam Schiff for a second? So going back with all this in Russia included, when you had all this information that was being leaked to media, and media, they're, unnamed sources telling us from within the government that, Donald Trump's a Russian asset and whatever, all these different lies that were told. Do you think the person leaking these lies, these falsehoods to the media, which then ran with it, do you think that person was Adam Schiff doing that?
Hard to say exactly who, but Adam Schiff was wide open about claiming that Trump was controlled by Putin, that he was a Russian asset. I guess he took his instructions from the KGB, et cetera, et cetera. And he always said he had incontrovertible evidence of this, hard evidence. Where was it? We waited for years and years. He never presented that evidence. I called his office on 3 occasions. I left 3 phone calls and 3 emails. I said, I'd love to see the evidence. Please share it with me. I'm happy to put it on Fox News or talk about it on your show on the radio, write articles about it, and heard nothing back from those people. And the third message, I said, if I don't hear back from you guys, I'm going to assume that there is no such evidence and you've made this up. You're lying, and I'm going to say so on radio, TV, and in print. And I heard nothing back from them. So I think it's safe to assume that Adam Schiff lied through his teeth about this. He had no such evidence. There was nothing to share, and he just did that in order order to get headlines, embarrass President Trump, make Republicans look like a bunch of KGB hacks, and did so without any basis whatsoever. He really, I hope if it's possible that President Trump sues him into the ground for this. I mean, that kind of behavior, saying something off the cuff once or twice is one thing, but to say that relentlessly on the House floor, in committee hearings, on television, in print, in radio interviews for 3 long years when there's nothing there, he ought to suffer severe civil penalties, if not criminal penalties for that.
How many people do you think in general were harmed by the government in this way? Can you quantify the number?
Hard to say exactly. I have 7 examples in my case. Some of them are names we've all known, people like Michael Flynn, the NSC chief under President Trump, who ended up losing his home. Paul Manafort, his former campaign manager, he ended up having to hand over like 25, adding all up, $30 million in fines, restitution, lost real estate, and spent 2 years in prison. 14 days in jail for George Papadopoulos, who got wrapped up in all this sort of thing. He was a foreign policy advisor to the 2016 campaign. He did nothing wrong. He ended up in jail for 14 days. So I certainly can identify these 7, but I'm sure there are others who are not in this piece. I don't think it's in the hundreds. It's probably in the dozens, just on the Russia hoax case. But then you look at other things like the parents who went and complained at school boards about DEI and critical race theory and all the gender stuff their kids were suffering. They were targeted by the FBI as, quote, domestic terrorists, unquote. These are just people who went to school boards to say, I don't like the stuff you're teaching my little girl or my little boy. And these people were targeted by the FBI as domestic terrorists. You had people complained about the way the COVID battle was going. Should kids be wearing masks? Should these schools be closed down for so long, et cetera? People who made complaints about this online were deplatformed. You had FBI agents running around Silicon Valley saying, make sure this person is taken off Facebook. Don't make sure this person doesn't make any money on X or Reddit, whatever it might be. Those people suffered as well. They ought to be compensated. If you had those people in, I'm sure this is probably in the hundreds. I don't know if it goes into thousands. So I'm guessing probably in the hundreds if you had those sorts of people in the mix as well.
Wow. Well, this article, by the way, if people wanted to read it, spectator.org, you can find it right on there. And all you have to do is look up, I guess, through the deep state, the American Spectator. And part of this is, do you think the government's changed, or do you think that they still do these type of tricks? And I know it's a little bit different, but some of these things happen under Donald Trump's presidency, where you know, especially with the COVID side of it. Do you think it's changed? Do you think it's gotten any better?
Well, I think it's probably gotten better, but the thing is, they don't call the deep state for nothing. These are people who are have been in the government forever. They remain no matter who's at the behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. And I think that they've tried to rein this stuff back, but you've got so many hundreds of thousands of people in the bureaucracy, and some of them could be doing this sort of thing very quietly with people who aren't well known. If you're somebody who's got access to the media and can go on and make a lot of noise, we'll hear about that. But I'm sure there are people who are suffering at the hands of the bureaucracy who are not well known. They don't write newspaper columns. They don't go on television. They don't know people who do that, and they could be suffering all sorts of injustices quietly, which is why it's so important to have a smaller state, a smaller government that limits what it does to things like running the judicial system, maintaining strong national defense, handful of other things, rather than what we have now, which is giant bureaucracy, which is in your face all the time from when you get up in the morning until you go to sleep. Inspectors running around, people screaming for paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. So this is why the reduction in the federal workforce that we've seen under President Trump is not just great from the standpoint of saving taxpayers' money. It's also fantastic from the standpoint of people not suffering these kind of inappropriate suffering and damage, and economic or otherwise, certainly psychological. If you have fewer people around to cause this kind of trouble.
Yeah, if we are harassing moms that are showing up to school board meetings because there are objections to things that you should object to as a parent, our government's too big.
Yes, I think that's a clear indicator. It needs to be smaller for sure.
Well, I think a lot of people, they continued on because they realized they were right, and I'm hoping that they realize this, but you're right, it's ruined a lot of lives. There's a lot of things the government's done when it comes to ruining lives, and I think, and just even going back to 2020 and COVID, you can point to a lot of different things that the government knew better and continued to lie about. And there's a lot of these different instances where people are even specifically targeted with their association of Donald Trump that really didn't deserve any of those things. So if people wanted to look you up online, things that you're doing, where can they go?
Well, this article is available at spectator.org. The headline is Tillerson Cornyn Kill the Justice Fund, Long Live the Judgment Fund. So that piece got posted today. If you Google me, you'll find articles going all the way back to probably 2001 on just about any public affairs controversy you could think of. And my stuff tends to appear more likely than not at American Spectator and Daily Signal. That's probably where you'll find the most recent stuff that I'm coming out with these days. And also, if you watch
Murdock.
Fox News and Fox Business Network, you'll see me on there as well.
Deroy Murdock, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate the time today.
You bet, Ryan. Thanks very much.
I'm Ryan Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey on 97.1 FM Talk.
Do 0% financing for up to 24 months on your basement waterproofing project. There are a lot of reasons to call Matt Hayes and the great team at Home Shield Foundation Repair, but this 0% financing offer might be the thing that gets you to pick up the phone once and for all and have Matt Hayes come look at your basement and tell you what kind of project you're looking at. Did I mention that Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes are eager to provide a lifetime warranty on the work they do to waterproof your basement once and for all? All you got to do is call 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900 and connect with Home Shield Foundation Repair to see how they can fix your problem so you can get that usable space back inside your home. It's important to call experts. It's important to understand who you're working with. Check out their reviews and the many satisfied customers right here from this local family-owned business. 314-271-9900. Online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
I'm starting to get the theme for this hour. The theme is country, country. Not just regular country, but country, country. I don't know. Maybe
you are
I got
all over it, man. You are all over it.
Okay, maybe I need another sample here coming up in the next break. But I'm Ryan Wrecker filling in for Annie Frey. I really like this story about the Ohio dad.
Oh, boy.
This is such a great story.
Oh, boy.
Okay. This dad is 31 years old, and in July, they noticed their 11-year-old daughter started sharing these videos, and they had these videos on her phone that showed a 20-year-old Diego Gonzalez allegedly sexually assaulting the 11-year-old girl. So they find these videos on the 11-year-old girl's phone. And the 31-year-old dad, Malik Chandler, said, "We're going to take care of this." So he took his daughter's phone and he started chatting with this pedophile, rapist, legend, I guess I should say, and said, "Why don't you come back over?" So this 20-year-old Diego Gonzalez said, great, I know what that means. He shows up and the dad shoots him twice.
My gosh. Just twice?
Twice, yeah. So the next day, he was doing these things, shot the guy twice, told investigators he intended just to beat him up and then call the police. But when he saw the alleged pedophile reach into his pocket for what he thought was a gun, he pulled his first and opened fire. When police arrived at the scene, they found Gonzalez sitting in a chair with 2 gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital in Columbus, Ohio. Chandler was charged with felony assault, bond set $100,000. That's the dad. $100,000 bond for the dad.
Wow.
Police did not look at it as self-defense in that way. Is this one of those scenarios where it's like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have done that, but I don't blame him, and I'm not going to fault him for it type of situations? What do you have sympathy for this dad in the way that you're like, you know what? I'm happy with the way that played out.
Yeah, there's a part of me that is happy with the way that played out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a dad, but there was a UFC fighter. I cannot think of his name, but it was kind of the similar situation where somebody molested his daughter. Now, he didn't come home and find it happening, but he found out who it was, hunted the guy down, and then beat him. I think he beat him to death, and he ended up getting like 5 years. He just got out of prison.
Yeah.
And it's like I understand why fathers do that. I get it. I 100% get it. And again, like, the reason for not allowing this to be like the thing is because then you don't have proper investigations and stuff like that, and you're eventually going to have people who didn't actually do anything wrong getting killed by dads who think that they did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this dude messaged this other dude from his daughter's 11-year-old phone, and that guy was thinking that it was his 11-year-old daughter and showed up.
Yep. Wouldn't this make for a much better Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator if they were allowed to shoot the people that came through the door?
Gosh.
Wouldn't that be it? Or is that dystopian type of situation? So now when I say that this person, the sexual predator, and I'll just, if you're having sex with an 11-year-old, you're a rapist because they can't really consent to that. So he gets shot twice. His phone, apparently, when they went to go look and see, okay, did he have that? Then not only did they find the videos, of course, of this 11-year-old, but they also found videos showing sexual abuse of other children, including one clip with a infant or toddler. Judge set Gonzalez's bond at $50,000. Now, keep in mind the dad was at $100,000. The dad's bond was set higher than the rapist.
No. Okay.
Isn't that something?
Man. See, like, this is one of those times. The dad was right. This guy was a creeper creeping on his daughter. The dad was right. What are we doing? Let the dad protect his kid.
What if, like, let's say, I mean, we're really into progressives right now. I mean, people love progressives, and I think the progressives on the left would probably be fine with this person having zero cash bond to be put back out and, molest children. But let's say we go to the extreme on the other side. If they were to put on the ballot a law where dads can shoot on sight people showing up to rape your children, and you would be scot-free, kind of like it's a Castle Doctrine, we'll put an extension to the Castle Doctrine. If someone shows up to rape your kids and you catch them on your property, you're allowed to legally shoot and kill that person. Would you vote yes for that proposal?
No, but if you're on the jury for this guy's case, this dad's case, is he guilty?
No, not if I'm there, I'm saying, okay, even if I think there is the smallest of chances, I believe he thought there was a gun in that person's pocket.
That's reasonable.
Then it's not guilty.
It's reasonable.
100% reasonable. There is no doubt in my mind that was reasonable. And considering the circumstances of why that person was on your property, they weren't there to drop off an Amazon package or a DoorDash for a McDonald's double cheeseburger that you're going to dip in your Pepsi. None of that. Well, I guess it would be Coke. What is McDonald's has the Coke? But with that, it wasn't those circumstances. The person was specifically showing up there to rape your child.
Yeah.
And you know that because you were the one chatting with them, not your child. And you knew exactly their intentions of what they were planning on doing. So Gonzalez, if released from jail, has been ordered to have no contact with the victim or her family and is banned from using the internet for any purpose outside of work. I would say I'm staying away from that family and dad because you don't want to give them another shot, honestly.
Yeah, dad's not going to miss the second time, that's for sure. It's like, if I'm going down for this, I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to want to cross lines with that family again. Franklin County Prosecutor's Office did not respond to the New York Post request for more information, but I think that if, like, let's say you're in Columbus, you're looking at this as like your local vigilante. I think that it would be easy to lift this person up as an example of how you want parents to protect their children. And even if it's in extreme situations like this, if you think of, let's say, part of this article, they didn't say if the suspect had a gun or not. They didn't actually say if he had a weapon on him. But I will guess in this situation that that'll come out as part of the trial. Let's say he actually had a gun on him, and this person could quite frankly have saved his daughter's life, because if you're showing up with the intent to rape an 11-year-old with a gun in your pocket, it's absolutely self-defense. So there's no question about it.
Yeah, I think if he would have had a gun or anything that could have been construed as a weapon, I think that this father wouldn't be sitting in jail with a $100,000 bond. I think it would have been.
Yeah. If his fingers were like the letter L in his pocket, I would have said, that's enough.
And what state is this? Because in a lot
Ohio.
In a lot of states, it's like, was there would a reasonable person in that situation think that their life was in danger?
Yeah,
that's the question.
I would think so.
And I mean, the self-defense defense might actually work, even though he lured that guy there. That might be his only hole in his plan.
Catch a predator. Just was going to give a stern talking to that turned extreme when he saw the weapon.
Yeah, that is a dangerous situation.
Go talking to. There's a lot of vigilante groups out there that set these type of stings. Have you ever seen the videos on Facebook or YouTube where pretty much every major area has one? I'm sure there's a lot in St. Louis where they basically, to catch a predator people, and they show up at a parking lot with a camera, calling them by their name, saying, you wanted to molest this person, here's the chat log. They do it to embarrass them. And it could get dangerous really quick because, when people are backed into that corner, they do dangerous things. And you could really be putting yourself in harm by doing that.
Now,
Police hate it.
The last one I saw was this guy had lured this guy out, and the place that they met him at was across the street from the town hall. Mm-hmm. And the city manager and the police chief came across the parking lot. Like, he didn't call them. They just saw them out there doing it. And this guy had, the sexual abuse material on his phone. He admitted it to this guy. And whoever, I cannot for the life of me think of the YouTuber's name, but he basically had talked him into turning himself in and everything. And he's like, you're going to cooperate, right? And this is bad. And the guy's like, yeah, this is bad. And I can't keep doing this. And the city manager came over and he's like, hi, he's like, I know who you are. We know what you're doing. We can take it from here. And they arrested the guy right then and there. And I was like, that's great.
How about that?
They arrested the predator. They were like, thank you for the service that you're doing. We'll take it from here. And he's like, yeah, he's got the stuff on his phone. You can check it out, all that other stuff. And the guy gave him the passcode and all that stuff.
Well, are you familiar with A24 movies? They have like a very dark theme to most of them. No. Okay. So A24 is like the production house or whatever it is. And normally the movies that they put together are always dark. And they are coming out with a new movie called Prime Time. Robert Pattinson, who's just like on top of the world right now with the Audacy, and he was in the vampire movies or whatever. But the movies he's in, Batman, he stars as Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator, and it's a movie about To Catch a Predator. It's called Prime Time.
Wow.
It's coming out, I think, this year. I've seen a preview for it. That, to me, sounds fantastic. It's one of those movies like, I'm definitely going to watch this, I think. Oh, it's coming out in September.
Okay, Prime Time.
Are you going to check out the trailer now?
I'll check it out. I'll see what's going on. Yeah. I'm always looking for good movies, so.
Oh, man. Well, A24 movies, they're all dark, and you'll watch this and you'll say, this looks pretty dark. I don't know if Robert Pattinson is going to be a good Chris Hansen, but just the idea of the movie itself is enough to get me excited about it.
Yeah.
All right. I was looking at comments online about this story, too, about the Ohio dad, and they said, why do dads fantasize about things like these type of situations? There's movies like Death Wish where, they go around and they're trying to avenge. Like the original Death Wish was Charles Bronson and his daughter and wife get raped in their apartment in New York City. I think the wife dies, the daughter becomes like comatose or something.
Mhm.
It's so traumatic for her. And he goes on, he's like, I'm done with this. Like every time I see crime, I'm just going to confront it head on. And there's these vigilante movies, these rise of vigilante movies when there's a lot of crime that are going on. And they say, why do parents, particularly dads, fantasize about this sort of thing? But I don't really look at it as fantasizing. I look at it and say, one day you may be put in this situation where you think your children's life is going to be on the line, and you just have to be mentally prepared to react to that, because otherwise you can't sit there in shock. Bad things could happen.
Yeah, don't wait until you're in the situation to try to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you'll freeze.
It is tough. It is a tough thing because you don't really know how you're going to react to it. But worst thing is freezing up in, I've talked about this with my wife, and she's like, you really think you can do that? And it always goes back to the thought that it would be easier for me to live with myself if I had to defend my family and took someone else out than having to live with the idea that my family got hurt because I did nothing.
Because you did nothing, yep.
That would be the hardest thing to live with. Even though both situations would be bad, one's worse than the other. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey, 97.1 FM Talk.
Friend Stewie, ready to take your phone call, even your text message at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Why call Stewie for your new mortgage or your mortgage refinance? Well, the bagel loan is the biggest reason. Both of those scenarios, refis and new purchases, come with no closing costs when you use the bagel loan. But for right now, with new home purchases, getting a new 30-year loan on a new home, when you use the bagel loan, of course, you don't pay any closing costs. But for the first year of that bagel loan home purchase, you're going to be able to take a 1% discount on your payment for the first year. At Stewart's American Mortgage, he is committed to providing you the best opportunity for your mortgage situation. I have used the bagel loan twice myself, and I highly stand by it. And I want you to get the opportunity to use it as well. 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt? Yes or no? We've got lots of texts and lots of votes coming in. The votes on the YouTube page seem pretty one-sided, but I'm looking at the comments in the text, and they're pretty split. For example, one person said specifically because you used the word massive, this is from the 314, because you used the word massive, I'll say no. Going on vacation would be highly irresponsible, but if you're in moderate debt, you could. And then another person said, Yes, this is from the 636. Yes, I went through an expensive divorce and I had bills that I didn't know what to do with, and I was told that I should take a vacation. I went for a week to the Bahamas on a very inexpensive trip and got recharged and came back and took care of business, and everything was fine. We want to know what you think, and Ryan and I are going to discuss this, and we're probably going to argue about this in the next segment. So jump on the YouTube chat or send us a text at 314-241-9797 and tell us what you think on this poll. Should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt, yes or no? The time is 1:34, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Okay, I want to change the theme a little bit. This is country music that country music listeners listen to. Wait, no, country music for country music people. Like, it has to be so country, so super country music.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to, I mean, if you listen to mainstream country, like, for example, if Rascal Flatts came up, you throw up automatically and say, I can't do this. That's the reaction you have to it. You feel sick. Rascal Flatts or old Taylor Swift.
So it's so far it's been Toby Keith, Kenny Chesney, and Eric Church are the artists so far, and there's one more coming up.
Okay, good. All right. I'll have to listen to the last one. Hope it doesn't throw me a curveball because I think I'm getting it. All right. I wanted to bring up this topic, and it's the YouTube live chat poll right now, which is, should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? Maybe we should play this audio first, because the reason this question comes up, because there's a YouTuber named George Camel, and he is in Disney, and he's talking to some of the couples that are there about their vacation, because Disney is a pricey vacation. It's not like, you know what, we're just going to go to the Ozarks for a weekend. We're talking Disney. This is we're not. Is it Silver Dollar City? This ain't Silver Dollar City.
No.
This is Disney. We're talking about people plan this for a year and have to find ways to pay for it. When my family went, we went on, I would say, budget Disney. And for our family of four, that's like $6,000. And that's like for maybe 4 days, something like that. 3 park days, 4 nights. That's a budget vacation at Disney, $6,000. So it's not cheap. And if you want to do it and you really want to enjoy yourself, you're like $10,000 at Disney. So he goes and he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the place where it's very expensive and ask them how much debt you have. Here's George Camel.
Are you guys in any kind of debt right now?
Mine's pretty minimal, I think. Credit card and a vehicle, probably about 60.
And that's minimal to you?
No, it's a lot.
What's left on the car loan?
53.
What are you driving?
A 24 Toyota Tundra.
How about you? How much debt do you have?
Probably $75,000. Credit cards, and then a car loan as well.
What's your car loan?
Student loans, yeah. Like 60.
60? What are you driving?
I was
You
terrible.
rolled over negative equity, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes. Honda Pilot, 25. Thank
What's your
you.
car payment?
$1,200.
How about your car payment?
$982.
I mean, you're just giving away the income every month at this point, right?
Yeah.
How much student loans we have left?
I probably have $100,000 in student loans.
Okay, add it all up in your head. I think we're doing this for the first time. How much debt do you have total?
I'm gonna say at least $180,000.
Can you tell me, did you guys pay cash for the trip?
For half of it.
The other half is on what?
A Disney card.
Oh, the Disney credit card. What do you get for putting it on the Disney card versus any old other card?
It has 6 months special financing, so there's no interest for like 6 months.
Okay, so is your plan to pay it off in 6 months?
That's the plan, yes.
That is the plan, if we can do that, for sure, yeah.
That doesn't instill confidence. You're like, if we, because otherwise it's going to like crank up to what, 29% APR or something crazy?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that hurts to hear. So we're talking about people with, in some cases, $60,000 in debt, and there they are living it up in Disney, eating their Mickey Mouse ice creams and getting their Bronto sandwiches or whatever.
Man.
So the question is, should you be going on vacation when you're that far gone in debt? And I think the obvious answer is absolutely not. What is wrong with you? Are you telling me this is something we may disagree on?
Yes, this is something that we disagree on. Now,
What?
Now, hear me out when I say this. Should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt? If you've got vacation days and stuff like that, yes, absolutely take your vacation days and go on that because those are paid vacation days. You're still making your money. You're still getting your salary. What you should not do is finance your vacation so that you go into even more debt.
That's what they're doing.
And
everything's on finance if you're in that far in debt.
Yeah, the Disney card thing where that lady mentions that we paid cash for half of it. Good job. And then they're like, we use the Disney card, which is like 6 months, same as cash. Good. Are you sure that you will have the cash at the end of that 6 months? Because he is absolutely right. 29% will bury you very quickly.
Mickey Mouse will be dancing on your grave before
yeah,
you pay that off.
What is the joke? Why does Mickey Mouse wear gloves? And it's so you can't see his fingerprints on your wallet. But no, don't finance it if like it's a better decision. Like in our area, go to the Lake of the Ozarks for a weekend or for a week or whatever. Or don't go into further debt to go on vacation, but absolutely go on vacation because I think that mental break is something that is needed by everybody. And so if you're getting paid for it, you got those vacation days. I don't like staycations because whenever I do a staycation, what ends up happening is it just becomes staying at home and doing chores, and that's not a break either. Go do a break. If you can staycate and break, fine, but go take a break, but come back ready to pay off that debt and redouble your efforts to pay off the debt. But I don't think that you should have to avoid vacations or should avoid vacations unless you absolutely have no money.
I am historically cheap. I am terminally cheap. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Must be a Ryan thing.
You think so? Wiggins is the same way.
Wiggins is super tight.
Oh, yeah. So I have vacation days, which I use normally to do extra talk shows. And we're actually, my wife and I, we're going on a vacation here in a few weeks. We actually going to try to fit one in before the kids go to school. But here's how we made it work. And I don't know if this is going to work in every marriage situation. Honey, we don't have the money for a vacation. So here's the deal I'm going to make with you. Here's how it works. Here's how much money you're allowed to spend a month. And this is after bills, groceries, everything else. Now, she's the one that does a majority of the shopping. I pay the bills, the electricity, and all that stuff for the house. But when it comes to food, clothes for the kids, incidentals, shopping for the school, whatever, she does everything else. So here's what I say. Honey, we're going to set the limit at $1,500 a month. Okay, that's what you're allowed to spend for all this stuff for all the family.
You give your wife an allowance.
Well, here's what I say. If you spend under that, you can put the extra inside of an account for a vacation. If you spend over it, you don't put any money for a vacation. So you can offset that by working. She substitute teaches, so she can offset some of that money. And the money that she's making extra for the family, if it goes under that $1,500 a month, put it in an envelope, Dave Ramsey style, and then when you think you have enough, we'll go on a vacation. Well, it took a year, and she saved $1,000, so we're going to go on vacation with it here in a few weeks. So that was the way I tried to justify it. We can only do it if you go above and beyond and spend less than what you should be spending in order to sacrifice to put the vacation forward. I thought that was the absolute most responsible way to do it, and I think there's a lot of women that are listening to the show right now saying, I'm glad my husband's not listening to this right now because I don't want these restrictions on my life.
But your wife likes vacations is what you're saying, right?
Loves them. I actually hate vacations, but she loves them.
I like going places. I do. My wife does as well. But again, it's that thing where it's like you got to be smart about it and you got to save money. Like I know coming up next February or in February, I've got a wedding to go to that is out of the country.
Ooh.
And so we're saving for that, which meant that this year's vacation kind of got muted. So we didn't get to go anywhere far away for that. So we went out to Indy to watch the Brickyard 400, but then we came back on Monday. So the race was on Sunday. We came back on Monday. What's that?
You can do whatever you want. You have no kids.
No. Kids aren't. No, Ryan. Kids aren't the limiting factor. Money is.
Money is where the kids are most restrictive.
Money and time are always at a premium.
Yeah, that's true. but you're dual income, no kids, which
Mhm.
apparently I heard they're making a TV show about that.
Probably.
That's coming out. It's a comedy called The Dinks or
the
something.
Dinks, yeah. You're called a dink.
Yeah. So I would see the world as your oyster. How far away is this wedding? You say it's an out-of-country wedding?
Yeah, it's in Mexico. So,
you excited to go to Mexico?
I really like my friend, and that's why I'm going. He asked me to come and be the best man at the wedding and that sort of thing.
Best man, that's the way. They trick you into that.
So I'm going. I wouldn't say that Mexico would be high on my vacation list. I think that there's plenty of blue water in the United States that you could go to.
Yeah.
But, some people swear by these things, so.
So you're going to a destination wedding in Mexico.
Yeah, probably going to be on the beach for the ceremony and all that other fun stuff.
Do you know how to say cyclosporiasis in Spanish?
I know how to say Montezuma's Revenge in Spanish.
There's some problems down in Mexico. I have someone that, we were friends with when I was living in St. Louis, and he grew up and was born in Mexico and, came here to be married to an American. And he said he would never take his kids back to Mexico anymore. He says it's too dangerous. He's like, that where I grew up and you didn't know any better, but now that I have kids born here in the United States, he's like, the places that I grew up, it's just too dangerous anymore. Are you afraid that some of the places you may be going to, or is it like an all-inclusive resort and you'll be fine?
No, I'm going to it's an all-inclusive. And apparently it's divided into adults only section and then family section. I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that adults only means it's like, listen, we don't want a bunch of kids running around here. This is for people without kids to be able to enjoy their time. I hope it doesn't mean something more, I don't know what the right word is there, but
are you saying that you think it's like swingers?
I hope not. I hope not. I'm going to find out the hard way is what's going to happen. It's like, oh no, what did I do? And
You're
then
going to
it'll
show
be
up and it's
super
like,
awkward.
It's like a 90s infomercial. Like they showed like late night commercials and stuff. And so you're going to show up and you think it's going to be like, sexual acts out in the open and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
I hope not. No, that's not what I'm hoping for. I'm
By
hoping
all
that
adults?
it's just like we have alcohol here, we have this sort of thing here, so we don't really want kids around it. That's what I'm hoping for.
So you and your wife will show up and they'll say, we really like your vibe. They'll be like that type of talk from other couples.
Yeah, and you know what? My wife is so innocent, she wouldn't even know what they were talking about. And I'm like, oh, babe, no. Sorry. Get back to the hotel room and explain to her what was happening.
Oh, please don't get kidnapped in Mexico.
No.
Please. When you're down there, it'd be the worst.
Listen, Ryan, if they kidnap me, they'll return me pretty quickly. Like, you know what?
Well, for a fee.
This guy ain't worth it. there won't be any money to keep me around.
Who's the first person you would call if you're kidnapped in Mexico for help?
Honestly, in my
phone? Of the show, would you call Ryan Wiggins or Annie Frey?
Oh no, I'd call Annie first. I mean, Annie would be great. She would be the first person that you would want on your side if you got kidnapped to try to get you back. But like you're asking, and it's like you understand that I produce the Annie Frey Show, and I've got like in my phone people that are in the White House. So who would be the first person that I would call? Be one of my White House contacts. Be like, hey, help. We're just going to escalate this to the top. Let's come get us. I don't care if I wake up and there's 4 guys with night vision goggles standing around me saying, all right, it's time to go.
Like it's a Maduro situation.
Get me out of here like you got Maduro out of there, man. I'll wear that Nike jumpsuit. I don't care. Just get me out of here.
Wiggins will make it into a screenplay.
It'll be a whole story. I'd have to come back and talk about it on air. Well, I can't tell you what they actually used because it was that discombobulator thing that they were talking about, and I'm sworn to secrecy on that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Annie Frey is your first call from the show.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, she would definitely be my first person that I would call on the show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
at aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace.
Homeowners, a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling. That's leaving money on the table. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Lou, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure they're getting top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. Call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Lou today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
This is so country. All right, I have a answer for the theme for this hour when it comes to the music.
All right, let's hear it.
It's music that would be played on stage at that one bar that was in Blues Brothers where they throw bottles at the chicken wire. I forgot what that place was called, but this is the music you would play in it. They have both kinds of music, country and Western.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were right on earlier whenever you were saying it was the country music fans' country. It's like country.
Country.
I mean, it's not Waylon Jennings country, but Hank Williams Sr. country, but, country.
That's real country.
So.
Well, you said the chat room is going crazy right now.
Yeah, we're getting. So I said I didn't know what the right word for an adults only resort was. FR2 said lewd. I was like, yeah, I'm hoping not that. And then
what does lewd mean? It's like lewd as in like lewd acts?
Lewd acts, yeah, at the adults only. The other person dash here says clothing optional.
Are you going to a clothing optional?
Not intentionally. I don't know. I didn't book it. They just said here's the resorts and there's this side and the kids side. So so they're wild.
Clothing optional in Mexico.
Of course, FR2 says that the adult only place in Cancun was just kidless and no funny business. So that's what I'm hoping for. No funny business.
Okay. You'll find
out.
out.
For anybody, yeah.
We have a strict no photo policy here. Oh, no.
Well, what does that mean?
I think you know what that means. So you're going to get there and you're going to find out. When is this wedding? Next year, you said?
Yeah, it's in February, so not quite a year.
Oh, well, it's going to be cold and you're going to be, what do they call it? A lewd resort?
Yeah, lewd resort, yeah. That rumor is going to start spreading like wildfire now.
Thanks for that. There's this one story, and I'm going to read you the headline, and I want you to guess the state. Teen uses rodeo lasso to save man drowning in river. It's a 14-year-old.
Yes.
He's been spending months practicing at his family ranch.
Okay.
And he used it in this state to save someone from drowning.
So he's got a ranch. He's on a family ranch. Save somebody from drowning, use a lasso. I mean,
you're going to get this.
The obvious answer would be Texas, but that's the obvious answer, right? So
that's not the answer.
So I got to think of a place that it's not Texas. So I'm going to go with Wyoming.
Ooh, you're so close. Montana.
Wow. Yeah, I was like, he's kind of got Texas and then like that upper, I don't know what you would even call that, mountain zone area.
Yeah, so the 14-year-old boy from Montana, Jory Thomas, Jory, Jory, which is, I guess that's a country name, was camping with his family near Wyoming's border July 5th when he heard noises coming from the river. People were shouting, help, help, help. A paddle boarder got stuck, and they were pretty much in the middle of nowhere. You can dial 911. No one's going to find you. So the person was out there, and he's like, I got my lasso. I'll see if I can grab the dude. And you know what? It worked to save the guy's life. Sheriff's office were posting about it on Facebook, drew thousands of likes, congratulating the 14-year-old for saving this kid's life. I think it was the Yellowstone River, so it doesn't get any more country than that. So congratulations to this teen. Quick thinking teen. I should carry a lasso around just in case that.
Are you good
ever
with
happens.
a lasso?
No.
All right, so
I
that
think
means you got to get good at it, and then you can be that. Like, this is the moment I was waiting for. Everybody stand back.
As far as I can tell, the lasso itself wasn't like, he got it around the person. I mean, if the person's in the water and just needs something to grab, I mean, I can throw a rope out. I don't need lasso training to do that. I can just get it close to the person, right? You don't actually have to like get it over the guy like it is in the cartoons. But good for this 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from him in his accomplishments there. But let's say if I was ever in a tough spot and a 14-year-old threw a lasso out to me, man, would that make for a great story?
You'd be like, you know what? He saved me. He was wearing a cowboy hat.
Well, I saw Missouri was added to the outbreak for cyclosporiasis. Since here in Michigan, we've been dealing with it for a while. If you want to talk diarrhea, we'll talk about that coming up after the break. And it sounds like Chipotle's worried about some of their products, too. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey, 97.1 FM Talk.
Comes to your estate planning issues, elder law concerns you have you been thinking about establishing a trust? Maybe you don't have wills or powers of attorney established yet. You know this is something you need to do, and for whatever the reason might be, you have put it off. You've postponed it. You've kind of not wanted to think about it, and here you are wondering, gosh, will I have everything in order when I need to have everything in order? The answer is yes, after you call Todd Sivia at Sivia Law. For the first 10 listeners to call right now to 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. Those first 10 listeners to call and book your initial appointment strategy session and mention my name, Annie, you're going to save the fee for that strategy session, which is a $300 value. So call Todd Sivia and Sivia Law at 833-995-WILL. Learn everything you need to know about the Sivia Law Firm at SiviaLaw.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet August 11th at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, August 11th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley and the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It could happen as soon as today. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. That's President Trump's optimistic outlook for a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Fox's Trey Yingst is in Tel Aviv.
In an interview with Fox News, the president said that talks happened all day on Tuesday and that things are looking very good.
If they back out again, they're going to get hit really hard. You know, they know that. They understand that.
Iran's deputy foreign minister says no talks with the U.S. have been held in recent days. However, it is close to reaching a deal with Oman to manage ships through the strait. On a campaign-type swing, President Trump will visit Las Vegas today to tout his administration's handling of the economy. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence has more from Red Rock Casino.
The president's going to talk about putting more money in people's wallets. And that's been the message from this White House here, is that more money gets into people's wallets. They can then afford their lifestyle more. And part of that was the no tax on tips. The president won Nevada by about 3 points in 2024. The polls in this state now show his popularity did slip. He's underwater about 10 points now. The main complaint I'm hearing on the ground here is the higher cost of living, gas prices specifically.
And AAA says the national average is $4.08 a gallon, or $1.10 more than before the Iran war started. Democratic primary voters in Michigan made a hard left turn and chose Dr. Abdul El Sayed over Congresswoman Haley Stevens in the race for the U.S. Senate.
What we showed is that the power of our many is greater than the power of their money.
El Sayed, who campaigned strong for Medicare for all, will face former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers in November for that open Senate seat.
Mike Rogers is a guy who, believe it or not, went back to Florida so he could lick every single boot Donald Trump owns to beg for his endorsement.
President Trump called El Sayed a communist loser who hates Jews and Israel. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation.
Mm-hmm. Just remembering I'll be here on Friday, so I'll get to hear the Ryan Wiggins version of
well,
that
maybe,
theme.
maybe.
I hope so.
Depends on if you behave yourself.
You're going to put some incentives in place.
Correct.
Well, if you're really good for most of your segments, then I'll do it. I'm Ryan Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. So the CDC has expanded where this area is for people getting sick for cyclosporiasis. You know, I had to really learn how to say that. And I have to break it up in cyclo and sporiasis. In my mind, I have to, because looking at the word, my brain freezes. See, I don't know how to say that word. Cyclosporiasis. And now Missouri has about 1,100 cases reported at the last check. It could be higher than that. And we've been battling this thing. There's like 12,000 some cases here in Michigan. 2 people have died, not necessarily directly from it, but they had it when they died. Probably had a lot of other health issues along with it. But, you know, the biggest issue, and I've talked to people that have had it, is that the way that I asked, is it like when you get a colonoscopy and they make you drink the stuff and it flushes your body out? He's like, it's a week of that. It's like, that doesn't sound great.
No.
So that's what happened to him. He got it from the place that you would suspect you get it from, the place where they thought originally it was coming from in this region. Lettuce from the suppliers that Taco Bell was buying from. So I said, did you get it from there? And he's like, well, I don't want to say that on the record, but yeah. And since then, Taco Bell has, come out and they understand that's the Taylor Farms in central Mexico is the primary trouble spot for where this is coming from. And yesterday I talked to a farmer, and he's a local farmer. He's from Michigan and Ohio, got 2 giant farms. And I said, has this helped you? Because, now that this one giant supplier, Taylor Farms, people are afraid to buy their stuff. Does that mean people are buying your product? They're going local? They're getting it regionally from their own state? And he said, no, it's still the opposite. People are afraid to eat vegetables because of this. So since it's now being reported about 1,100 cases in Missouri, are you hesitant to eat lettuce, or has that changed the way you think about this type of produce?
No, I still think it's all not good, and I only eat it because I have to because it's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't worry about it too much. I was listening. Is it Dr. Drew? Is it Pinsky? Is that his name?
Sure. Yeah.
He was talking about this on his show the other day, and what he's saying is he's like, yeah, this is a freak out. He goes, but it doesn't have to be a freak out. We have antibiotics that can treat this and stuff like that. Yeah. So we just use those and take care of people.
Yep.
My curiosity about this is like, are we having an outbreak, or are we now just paying attention to it because, like, is this something that is more common, but because the spotlight's on it now, it seems a lot more prevalent that it is, and then a lot more people are getting tested for it because they're aware of it? Because I hadn't heard of it before this story broke.
It's a very specific type of parasite that you can track, and I think that it's not just we're just paying attention to it now. I just think that and the way that it's described is that these farmers in central Mexico, it could be anything that's bringing this stuff in. They could be, growing this lettuce in the ground and everything is taken care of and they're doing all the different health precautions. But if you get some flooding and some water from outside the farm gets into your land, you could be in trouble. You could do everything right and still have this stuff on there. Maybe they didn't test it properly. That could be a big thing. They're saying that the best thing you can do is you buy a head of lettuce, take out the outer layers, and you wash it. Really good. But that doesn't always work with all produce. They say if it gets on things like raspberries, it could get stuck in between and you'll still get it in there. And the other thing is, it's not like you grow an immunity to this parasite. It's if you catch it again, you're going to have the same effects. It doesn't grow any sort of antibodies to it. So you got to catch it. Sometimes, the person that I talked to that had this, they went to their urgent care and they said the urgent care I don't even think they reported it to the state. They just told me, yeah, everyone's getting it right now. So we'll just put you on these antibiotics. He didn't want to take the antibiotics. So he just basically waited for it to cycle out of his system. That's why it took a week. When it could have been out a lot quicker than that.
Hey, here's some antibiotics. I'm like, cool. You get
Didn't want to take it.
I'm sure he had his reasons. My reasons would have been different.
Yeah. And there's a woman in West Michigan that's suing because the antibiotics had an ingredient she's allergic to. So it made it worse. She was hospitalized and lost work, and there's pain and suffering and stuff. Now, they describe it as explosive diarrhea. And when we first reported this, I called it explosive diarrhea. And we had a big meeting in the newsroom, and they're like, can you say that on the air several times? Explosive diarrhea. Maybe that's not gentle enough for our listeners.
You said it about 5 times already, Ryan.
They need to know what they're getting into.
Listen, we need to know this is serious. It's an explosive story.
Right. And explosive meaning it comes in fast and furious, not necessarily that it's like a shotgun blast or anything. We're talking like it hits you, and when it hits you, it hits you.
It's time to go.
It's go time, baby.
Yeah.
And you better hope you're by a toilet. And this stuff will wake you up in the middle of the night. And he said it was miserable. You couldn't get any rest and all this other stuff. So I'm glad I haven't gotten it. I do have sick days, and some people were even chastised because they thought, you know what, if I can just get this, then I'll get a week off of work, and I get to use my sick days, and it'll be easy because it's no, because you're going to dehydrate yourself. It's very dangerous doing that sort of thing. They're doing it as a weight loss.
Yeah, spend a week drinking Gatorade so you don't die.
Yeah, exactly. And Chipotle is now in the headlines. They've removed their jalapenos from their restaurants because of a salmonella outbreak investigation. There's a lot of places right now. And going back to the Taco Bell thing, I used to eat Taco Bell all the time because it was cheap and there wasn't a big line of people to try to go through it. Like, unless you were going after midnight or whatever it was. But if it was during the day, it felt like you were a king eating at Taco Bell if you were cheap. That was my kind of place. Now you got to be rich to go there. $2 for a crunchy taco. I don't got money for $2 crunchy tacos.
When I used to work there, I think crunchy tacos were 79 cents.
Exactly.
And
79 or 89, whatever it was.
And then in the St. Louis area, I don't know if they did this anywhere else in the country, but they did a deal with the Blues where if the Blues scored 5 goals, they were 35-cent tacos. And working that shift was a nightmare. So initially when it happened, it was if the Rams scored 39 points or more, there'd be 39-cent tacos.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, the Rams aren't as good anymore, but we still want to do the taco deal, so we'll do 35 with the Blues score 5. Thing was, you could never predict when the Blues would score 35, and when the Rams were good, you pretty much just assumed that's what it was going to be. And they found out that people were ordering thousands of tacos in an order, and so then they were like, all right, we have to put a limit on this, limit of 200.
200?
Mm-hmm.
That's still a big limit.
So, and I don't know how many listeners out there are familiar with the Taco Bell down by the Belleville Fairgrounds, but that's the one that I worked at. And if you're familiar with that, they would be lined up out of the parking lot, and there was like the Taco Bell parking lot, a creek, and then right next to it, 159 ran north and south. They would be lined up out of the parking lot, around the corner, and up 159 to get in, and every one of them wanted 200 tacos.
Wow. 200 each. What are they doing with the 200 tacos?
No, because they're not good left over.
No, they're not. The bottoms get soggy and they bust out. The meat just pops out into the wrapper after a while. That is a weird thing. I'll just take 200 because you can.
Yeah.
And you're not feeding the homeless with that.
Nope.
Were you freezing it? What are you doing with these
yeah,
tacos?
who knows? But that's what they would do.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But maybe if you got a big family, I guess. You got a real big family. So how many crunchy tacos can you put down? I normally do 4 if I'm going to order it.
Oh, I could put a lot down. What do I usually get? If I get crunchy tacos, I don't know. What did they call it? It wasn't the Crave case. It was the Grande meal.
Okay.
And you got your choice of 10 crunchy tacos, 10 bean burritos, and 10 soft tacos. I could do a Grande combo on my own.
Wait, you can do 10 crunchy tacos on your own?
10 crunchy tacos, yeah.
Totally. Are you serious?
Yeah. No, I have to, Ryan, I've lost a bunch of weight. I've lost over 100 pounds. I still am that 330-pound dude on the inside.
Yeah.
My brain still functions that way. So I am actively telling myself, nope, stop here.
Yeah, you have to. Did you see, and we mentioned this to Eben Brown just at the very tail end of it. I saw it this morning on CBS News where they were showing the latest trend on TikTok is that these people that film themselves eating fast food and reviewing it, they're going to McDonald's, they're getting a double cheeseburger, and they're dipping it in their Coke, and they're eating their double cheeseburgers that way.
When Eben Brown heard that, he was my spirit animal.
What did he say?
He's like, oh, I mean, they're under his voice, you could hear the disappointment in modern society. He's like, what are we doing?
I know. None of that sounds appealing whatsoever. And for people to do that, I've experimented with fast food. Don't get me wrong. I've done some crazy things with fast food. Never did I think I was going to dip it in Coke. What is wrong with you for thinking
No, that
about
doesn't
that?
make sense to me. Well, like, I didn't like the whole, and I don't know where you were or not, but dipping your fries in a chocolate shake.
I'm all for it.
I didn't like that. I still don't like that. I won't do that. So you're not going to get me to dip a cheeseburger in cola.
A Frosty with Wendy's fries in the shake. You're telling me that is not appealing whatsoever?
Not in the least. Wow. I don't like.
What about dipping sauces for pizza? People get like the garlic butter and stuff like that,
no,
where they dip their crust in it.
No garlic butter.
Marinara sauce.
Maybe ranch.
Okay. You'll go for that. Okay, so there is some things you'll try.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't like the garlic butter. I'll try a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not like, no, the Frosties and the fries didn't do it for me. Never has, never will.
Yep. All right, there's a new Reddit forum that I've been reading, and it's called Morality Scaling, where they give you moral questions, and you have to ask, what is the morality of? And then they ask the question. I'm going to give you a few scenarios, okay? And let me give you one, and we'll start with this one after the break. So the story is a dad heard that his son was mocking another student at school because the student lost their hair due to cancer treatment. So the father took the kid to the barber and forced his son to shave his head because he mocked the other kid going through treatment.
Okay.
What's the morality of a father shaving his son's head as punishment for mocking another kid? So it's questions like that. Is that moral for you to force your kid to shave his head because you caught him mocking a cancer treatment patient? So I want to give you a few of these scenarios, and we're going to discuss that coming up after the break. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in. If you haven't already voted on the YouTube live chat poll, go do it, because this is something that I disagree on when it comes to it, when I think a lot of people, including Brad, should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? Go vote now. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation, so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
I want to talk about Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com. There are 3 good reasons you should talk with Greg. 1, your health insurance premium is too high. Well, Greg saves most people 30 to 60% on their monthly premiums. 2, your deductible is too high. Well, with most of Greg's plans, you will have no deductible or out-of-pocket expenses. 3, your doctor doesn't take your plan. Well, you can use Greg's plans at most any doctor or hospital in the country. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years' experience, at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. Greg will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Because you don't know what you don't know about your health insurance coverage.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issue. issues, too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Land Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Land Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit landstorylaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Land Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
And welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. Next couple of days even, if you have me back. So there's a Reddit forum called Morality Scaling, and they give you scenarios, and they ask the morality of things. And it's kind of interesting because some of the things they set up, you're like, I kind of get it. And then other ones you're like, oh, boy, that's a little bit off. So I gave an example right before the break. The example was it showed a video of a dad punishing his son. Apparently his son mocked a cancer patient who was going through chemotherapy and lost their hair. So the dad, when he found out that his son was mocking a cancer patient, took him to the barber and shaved his head to teach him a lesson. The morality of a father shaving his son's head as punishment for mocking a kid with cancer. Those are the type of questions they ask. Are you morally justified to do that, you think?
I think that's morally justified. I think that's a good lesson for the kid.
I think so. I think the kid needs it, honestly. And I think that's, you know what, good for that dad, because it's probably not an easy thing to do. When you talk about, you know, the kid's yelling and screaming, he's not holding the kid down, but he's giving it to him while he's crying.
So the kid is like actively fighting this.
He's not pushing back, but he's not like he's like crying.
This is a disaster for me.
Yes.
I saw a picture of a mom who took her kid to the barber and shaved the top of his head, but left the side part. You know what I'm saying? Like he was balding at the top. And her response was, now, here's my thing. I draw the line. Like, you want to teach your kid this lesson, great. You don't need to post that on the internet for everybody to see. That's between you and your kid and the, you know, what he'll get, you know, as far as distress and whatnot for having his head shaved. I don't need you to post that for me. But this mom shaved this kid's head in that shape and said he wanted to act like he was a grown man, so I gave him a grown man haircut.
Yeah.
And so that's how mom taught him a lesson. It's like, it's a little much. It's funny, but that's a little much. But no, teaching your kid a lesson in a creative way, I think, is good, provided your punishment shouldn't be out there for the internet to see. That's a punishment to your kid.
Okay.
And I think it's specific to your kid. I think you have to know your kid to know what will work and what doesn't work.
Okay, let me read this next one. Someone posted this on Twitter. Guy said, I'm pretending to be a hot girl on Tinder so I can match with my roommate and tell him I'm coming over so he'll clean the apartment. What's the morality of lying to your roommate, breaking their hopes, and just to have them clean the apartment by themselves?
I don't know that that's immoral, but that's a violation of the bro code.
You think so?
Oh, that's a bro code violation.
What if the guy never cleans, and this is the way to get him to clean?
Fine, fair enough. You got other ways. You don't, catfishing your bro is not cool. Not cool. Immoral.
Okay. All right, here's another one. The morality. Okay, so it shows a picture of Hugh Jackman smiling is the meme. And it said, when the kid that's been running around the restaurant for the past hour finally hits his head on the table. So the morality of being happy a kid hit his head on the table.
So that's Schadenfreude is what that is.
What's that called?
Schadenfreude. It's a German word. It means taking pleasure in others' misfortunes.
Okay. Well, okay. Would that be okay to have a little bit of pleasure saying that, okay, probably given a lot of warnings, told to stop, didn't. They kind of did it to themselves.
I don't think you can stop your initial reaction of being like, but I think dwelling on it becomes immoral or wishing for it to happen. But like if it happens and it seems like it's fate, then it's like a giggle, a chuckle or whatever. And then it's like, okay, let's make sure this kid's okay. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay, here's an example where a person put a bait bike, just a bicycle outside.
Yes.
And what happened was it was loaded kind of like on a spring. So whenever someone sat on it, spikes would pop out.
Ooh.
And you'd definitely get the guy, whoever would sit on it. But the only reason they would sit on it is if they were trying to steal this bicycle. So the morality of intentionally booby-trapping a bike to injure someone when they steal it. Are you okay with that?
I'm good with it.
You're okay?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm good with it. Some of my favorite videos are the bait bike ones where the wheel falls off and the guys wipe out or whatever.
Yes.
Spikes
like the bait bikes.
Spikes seem a little vicious. I don't think I would do that, but like the stuff where it causes them to crash or there's a rope tied to it and they get so far and then they go over the handlebars or whatever. I'm down with that. Don't steal people's stuff. You get what you deserve when that happens.
Okay. Here's another one. It's a story that was in Providence, Rhode Island. A woman broke into an animal shelter to save her dog after her ex secretly surrendered him to be euthanized. So she went and basically broke into the place, and it shows a picture of it. She's holding the dog, and it looks like she, that was chained. And I mean, she literally broke in the overnight to the shelter to take her dog back before it was euthanized. The morality of breaking into the building and private property to rescue your dog.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You're good with that?
Yeah, in that situation where the guy was trying to get the dog euthanized for no other reason than just to cause her harm, no, absolutely. I'm good with that. And if I'm the owner of the place, I'd be like, all right, look, you need to replace what you broke to get in here. Take your dog with you, but I'm not going to press charges as long as you replace what you broke.
So that's all you need to do. That would be fine. Okay, so what if she doesn't... Okay, if you're the shelter, do you even charge her with anything? Or to be like, okay, why didn't you just come talk to us?
Well, that's the other question. Like, why didn't she come talk to you? Or did she come talk to you and you were like, no, this isn't your dog, blah, blah, blah. I don't get that.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand why the person couldn't just, even if they don't believe that it was her dog, she could adopt the dog because that's what shelters should be trying to do, right?
Right. Hopefully. Well, if someone drops it off saying this dog's dangerous, can't be trusted or whatever, then, they're like, okay, we'll pay the fee or whatever. They euthanize the dog.
You show up
for
and
you,
the
kinda
lady's
like
holding the dog in the kennel saying, don't euthanize my dog. I think that throws that story into question.
Yeah. So here's a story. A morality of holding a door shut for the people behind you because they were annoying.
No, I don't like that.
You don't like that one?
No, I don't like that one.
All right. There's a lot of these scenarios where I kind of see the other side. Let's see. Because I'm scrolling through and there's so many ones here. Not all of them are good. Morality of painting strangers. As in, let's say you're on the boardwalk or something and you got the easel set up. And it's like you paint them without their permission just because, you're doing a setting and they're there. Without asking them if it's okay first, but they're part of it.
Yeah, when you're in a public setting, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy, so I'm good with it. I think it's no different than filming. It's just old-fashioned picture taking. Except you're using paints.
Well, this one's a meme and a meme and a meme. So someone was having some fun with this. The original one was, is it morally justified to kill someone who breaks into your house without any hesitation? And then the next meme where they backed out, it said, morality of fantasizing about scenarios where you are morally and legally justified to do murder. And then they back out and it said, morality of trying to gain social points by framing Redditors wanting to kill robbers for fun and not out of self-defense. So there's a couple of different ways to do it.
So first one is moral.
Mm-hmm.
Second one.
Yeah.
Second level. No, you're framing that wrong because if they are in your house, you aren't murdering them. Murdering is unjustified killing, and if they're in your home, if they broke into your home, that's justified. So you can't say murder. So no, it's not a fantasy to murder people.
Yeah. Here's one. Morality of saving your pet over a human stranger.
No, you got to save the person. I have 2 dogs, and I love them with everything that I have, but no, people are more important than pets.
Okay. What about, let's say the person was breaking into your house to steal your dog. Are you allowed to use deadly force to protect your dog?
Yeah, you broke into my house. I don't know why you're in my house. I don't know that you're there just to steal my dog. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right. You don't really know. They could be there for anything. You don't know that in the moment.
Right.
All right. This is going back to Spider-Man. Did you see not this one that just came out, but the one before that?
Okay.
Morality of attempting to brainwash the entire world to appease a teenager's impulsive, selfish desires.
No, impulsive, selfish desires, yes. But his desires weren't selfish. They were unselfish because he was trying to protect the people that he cared about. And he thought it would be better if they never known him.
Okay. Morality of having children when you can't even afford to take care of them yourself.
Yeah, I think you should have children, but I think you should be aware of what your financial limitations are.
Okay. That's a Reddit that I read sometimes at night when I'm relaxing and my wife's watching. She watches this stupid horse show and she won't stop watching it because there's 19 seasons of it. It's called Heartland. It's out of Canada. And it's a show about a ranch with horses. And it is
horse
the
show.
dumbest drama.
I thought you said horror show. I was like, 19 seasons?
Horse. It's like I think a cattle ranch and there's horses. And they're like, oh, the kid's doing like pageant horse stuff. And there's drama here and there's drama there and there's drama there.
I've got
So
a vacation
boring.
idea for you.
Don't say watch 19 season of Heartland.
No. You take her to a ranch and let her live the ranch life.
She would hate that. Maybe she would like that. Her birthday's coming up.
Yeah. Give her a taste of it. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But if she doesn't like it, then you don't have to watch Homeland or Horseland or Heartland anymore.
Such a good idea. She really wanted to go on a little trip. What if I do organize that?
Take her out to Montana, so if you fall in a river, somebody can rescue you with a lasso.
That would be really the best backup scenario in case something bad happens.
Right.
That's what you want is a 14-year-old with a lasso.
Yep.
They can fix it all. Oh, I hope not. Here's the problem. So I'm just going to put this disclaimer out. I know a lot of my wife's friends listen to this show. If you are listening right now,
Hi,
and you
Ryan's
know
wife's
my
friends.
wife, do not tell her. Do not text her. Do not tell her what was just said here. Don't ruin this for her, okay? I just have to put that out.
And if it is a great success, you get to claim 100. I'm releasing any idea on this. You get to take all credit for it, too.
But if it goes wrong, I can blame you?
You can blame me.
Okay. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Repairs.com is the website. If you are considering getting the basement looked at because water has made its way into your home and you need a solution, you wonder maybe even how bad the problem actually is in the first place, call Matt Hayes, the local family-owned business owner of Home Shield Foundation Repair, and talk to him about what you're looking at, what you're dealing with. He'll come look at your basement and give you an educated understanding of how you can get the problem solved. And for right now, if you call 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900 to Home Shield Foundation Repair. You can talk to them about 0% financing for 24 months. This is a great way to get a necessary fix in your home and restore that foundation. Home Shield Foundation Repair at 314-271-9900. Reach out to Matt Hayes and talk to him about your project today and take advantage of that incredible opportunity for 0% financing. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Audacy podcast. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance balance issues? Call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Hey, Stewie's here from Stewart's American Mortgage, and he continues with some amazing offers for potential customers this summer.
You know what, Mark? We talked about the 1% reduction when you're buying a house. You lock it in at 6.5%. You get 5.5%. We're going to extend that to certain kinds of refinances right now as well. If you have an FHA loan and you need to go to conventional because it's usually better, we're going to give you 1% lower for the first year as well. It's a great opportunity. Take advantage now. Cash out, rate and term refinances from FHA to conventional, 1% lower for the first year.
A lot of people are just on the sidelines. They were worried about the rate that they locked in originally, and they need cash from their house, though, right?
That's right. It's a great opportunity. Look to see what you're paying on those credit cards. If you need to go ahead and do some improvements to your house, this is a great time to do it. Don't use your credit cards. The APRs are 30%. Stay away from those high interest rate type of programs. Refinance, get one fixed rate. It's not adjustable. 1% lower for the first year.
Call or text Stewie on his cell phone, 314-324-4440, or Google the Beg Alone, NMLS number 226715.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? Yes or no? This is a pretty broad stated poll question here, so it allows you to interpret what massive debt actually is. One person here from the 636 said, concerning your vacation question, they asked me to define massive debt. Very few of us have paid off homes, so there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt that many of us have paid. Many of us have paid off vehicles, so it's not. Let's add another $20,000 or $30,000 for that. Not many of us can pay for vacations cash. So what is it? $5,000 to $10,000 that you're going to charge? So you just die and never enjoy life and be a slave to the system? I say screw it, charge it, and if I die, good luck getting the money. So that's one way of putting it, and that's quite a thorough way of doing it. I've got lots of thoughts on that. But the poll question, what we want to hear from you is, and you can text us at 314-241-9797. You can text us, and I'll look at those texts and read those. Should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt? Yes or no? You get to define what massive debt is. You get to decide what that is. And like that caller or that texter that did there, text us and let us know what you think. The time is 2:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Still trying to figure out this theme here. I guessed before public domain music, but that's not the answer. I'm going to say the theme of the music today, and if anyone listening here knows the answer and you're screaming it at your radio, I'm sorry. Let's say... I'm trying to think of the right word. It's monotone trance music. I don't know. Trance dance music?
Trance dance. You're getting closer.
Oh, okay. Is that a word, trance dance? So
I know both of those are types of music.
Oh, I'm hearing more now. Hold on. Remixes? Is this a remix?
Yeah, you're getting there.
Of classics? Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll get there here before the last one is played. Maybe we play a couple of clips here because I saw that you have clips from both Cori Bush and Wesley Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start with Cori Bush? I'm kind of curious how this played out yesterday after Cori Bush lost the primary to Wesley Bell. Wesley Bell incumbent there. Cori Bush trying to get her seat back. Let's take a listen.
What we just walked through is an opportunity for the people to have their voice through a congressional seat.
Someone alarm clock.
Because that's what we had. from 2021 through 2025, January 3rd in the morning to be exact. And then January 3rd, 2025 in the afternoon, that changed.
She is not.
And St. Louis lost.
She is not. I don't even know what she's talking about. And the beeping going on.
Yeah.
It sounds like an alarm
St.
clock.
Louis, you deserve a representative that sees you.
All I hear is the alarm clock. I can't understand what she's saying. I just hear the beeping.
Yeah, she's saying, St. Louis, you deserve a representative that sees you. And she was going back before. It's like whenever Wesley Bell won last time around, she's like, you lost that voice. And
she was a terrible representative.
No, and she's like somebody that gets things done for you. And it's like, Cori Bush, you didn't get anything done for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe what was the allegations about her husband or boyfriend and paying him for security, so maybe you got something done for him. But no, you didn't pass any significant legislation. You weren't part of anything. And Wesley Bell, to his credit, was able to work bipartisanly with Republican lawmakers and Republican governors and the Trump administration to get financial aid and relief for the city of St. Louis after the tornado hit St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to
Wesley
do that.
Bell.
That's a positive.
Let's hear from him. We have a clip from him, too.
When we think about all of the division that we hear, I think it is important that we focus on what this place can be. When I was a professor, I used to tell my students all the time, I want you to see me, I want you to see you how I see you. I see the potential in these young people, in my students. And I'm using that as an anecdote because when I think about this region, I see a region that is a sleeping giant.
You know what? I heard that in part there. I see a region that's a sleeping giant. I agree with him. I think St. Louis could be great.
Yeah. Well, Wesley Bell versus Cori Bush. I can't even tell you what Cori Bush was trying to say. None of that made a lick of sense at all. And I don't think it's fair because listening between the two, all I heard was beeping with Cori Bush and a bunch of nonsense coming out of her mouth. Wesley Bell, you can actually listen to and understand what he's saying. Well, not just for the sake of the audio quality, we're talking about the content of what he is saying there. So Wesley Bell, the winner there. Abdul El Sayed. If you want to go back to the Audacy app and rewind, you can listen to our conversation with Fox News Radio and Eben Brown. We had, I think, a good talk about that, and he was pretty, I would say, pretty emotional.
Yeah,
taking
Brown,
it personal.
I will say Eben Brown does not like Abdul El Sayed.
I would say that's true. I would say there's a lot of people that
you know
feel
what though,
the way
and
he does.
I think Eben Brown's concerns and fears are real and valid too. I think that is a valid thing. If you're curious, he was bringing up anti-Semitism. Eben Brown is passionate about that. He told the story about how his grandparents had to hide from. What was the word that he used? I can't remember.
I have to look it up again. It was the first time I've ever heard that word.
Essentially, he said it was a lynch mob that was going through the cities of Europe where his grandparents were looking for Jews to kill. That's awful. That's terrible. And any sort of like movement that we're in right now, that people are in, that is like anti-Semitic, that's not a good thing. That's not where you want to be. The Jews aren't to blame for whatever it is that's going wrong that makes you think that they are. They aren't.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of things that could be blamed for that, but you can't center that on one group of people. Don't do that. Stay away from that stuff.
Yep. Just for the sake of time, I know we only have a couple more minutes and we have to go to another break, but the Sophie Cunningham thing, she plays for the WNBA. She plays for Indianapolis. That's the same as the superstar that plays for it, which is, I can't think of her name right now. Who's the big superstar in the WNBA that plays for Indy? Caitlin Clark, yeah. She's kind of looked at as the enforcer, I guess, in a way. She's kind of the muscle on the team.
Missouri.
And Sophie Cunningham is, I guess, controversial because she said men shouldn't be in women's sports. That's like the controversy.
Yeah.
And apparently people hate her for that. So she goes into other arenas and they chant things at her that are, pretty disgraceful.
I think the first two arenas she went to, one was Portland and the other one was Minnesota.
Okay.
So
Sophie Cunningham is kind of turned into, I guess, a lot of people, at least those that are right-leaning online, like to use her as like a positive meme. Like, hey, look at this athlete. Look at her, and she's like speaking for her words. Yeah, she does the point thing. They've kind of adopted the point, and they use that meme very effectively online. It's tough, though. Sometimes you see the meme game of conservatives versus liberals, and liberals seem to win that fight sometimes. That's a winning conservative meme right there, the point thing.
That's a great
is
meme.
The best. So Sophie Cunningham is kind of back into the news because she was at a game and the opposing coach wore a Trans Kids Matter shirt or something stupid like that. Some really dumb thing. And they addressed it on ESPN, and they were talking like, oh, how brave this coach is for like standing up against that nasty Sophie Cunningham. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't care how much you talk about this. I will never have interest in the WNBA. There is nothing you can say or do that'll get me interested in actually following this league. Even if you add controversy and politics and conservative politics into it and bringing someone forward that is a positive meme for, those on the right, doesn't matter. You'll never get me to watch a game.
It's a fair take. But to Sophie Cunningham's point, girls deserve to have their own sport. And I'd like to point out that there's a WNBA, there's not an MNBA. There's not a men's NBA. It's just the NBA. And if you are good enough to play in the NBA, you can play in the NBA. There's no rule saying that girls can't play in the NBA.
Who was the radio show host that said he'd put up $10 million?
Oh, that's Clay Travis.
Clay Travis.
So we talked about this yesterday. The bet is $10 million, winner take all. It's the Las Vegas Aces were the WNBA champions last year, and he said Las Vegas Aces, WNBA champions, versus a state championship boys basketball team of my choosing. They play. The proceeds, pay-per-view proceeds, will go to the Tunnels to Tower Foundation, I think is what he said. Which I think this thing would go bananas. I think people would pay to watch this game. He goes, and the winning team gets $10 million. So if the Aces beat the boys team, $10 million to the Aces, he'll write the check. If the boys beat the Aces, then the boys high school team gets $10 million.
Love it.
He pays the money either way. So it's not like he's betting $10 million that they won't be able to. He's saying, I will pay $10 million to make this happen. Here's if you're saying there is no difference, come and do it.
I like it. It's high school level athlete that you would have to put it up against. And these are the best of the female professionals that are out there, kind of like, the World Cup soccer team. And that's probably an easy comparison. If you put like the best 16-year-olds together versus the best women in the country, the 16-year-old's going to whoop on them because they do that. They practice that way and they do whoop on them.
Yeah. U15 boys teams are beating women's national teams 7 and 8 to nothing.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's basically, they said this always happens. It's no big deal. But there's no biological difference, I guess, between a man and a woman because, it's only in our minds that there's a difference, apparently. It's what they want you to believe. So there is an unfair playing field when it comes to athletics, and Sophie Cunningham is correct when it comes to female athletics and male athletics. And there's a reason why the two are separated. There would be a total imbalance of power, and there would be overpowering of the female athletes if you were to put, let's say, a LeBron James inside of the WNBA. There's no question about that. So I think you have to acknowledge that, and to say that you are a transphobic, bigot, whatever, fill in the blank because of it, and you have the arena chanting it because you're encouraging that garbage. Shut up.
It's ridiculous.
Stop making me like her even more or whatever it is.
Stop telling us to ignore facts and reality so that we don't hurt somebody's feelings.
Yep. All right, we have one more segment left, and if you haven't already voted, go do so. We have one more chance for you to hop on to the YouTube live chat poll. Should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? We'll take a look at that coming up after the break. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in 97.1 FM Talk.
America, one reason you should support America 250 is our country's now the same age as Nancy Pelosi. Happy birthday, America 250, you fine thing, you.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
At Audacy, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@audacy.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@audacy.com. And for all our listeners, please visit audacyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Audacy radio stations.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. USMen'sMedicalCenter.com.
If you haven't had your roof checked in the last 5 years, it's time for roof maintenance. Mark Cox here for my friends at Corel Roofing Company. Listen, Curtis is going to come out, or a member of his crew, and get up on your roof for free to see what's going on. If you've got damage, I can't think of anyone better to work with your insurance adjuster to get that coverage. Recently, Curtis went to bat for one of his customers and got her coverage from 2024 storm damage with 2024 deductibles. He works hard at this and he prides himself, and he took his whole crew to Kansas City recently for additional training working with adjusters to make sure you get what you deserve. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience, and it doesn't matter what kind of shingles you need, they've got you covered. 314-222-9529. That's 314-222-9529. Tell them Mark sent you. Go to CorelRoofingCo.com. If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley in the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. All right, I have to guess now on the music theme for this hour. I have two guesses. Is it Dance Yacht Rock?
Not Yacht Rock, but I do like Dance Yacht Rock.
Is that a thing? I just made that up.
Yeah. Yacht Rock has been a big thing this summer, and then there are a bunch of DJs that have taken it and remixed it. The theme is just EDM remixes, so it's electronic dance music remixes. So
got it. Okay. I know we have the YouTube live chat poll. Go vote if you haven't. Just one last thing. And there was a story. This is out of, I think, Miami-Dade College. And apparently there's a professor by the name of Nathan Thomas. And he's 18 years old and already a professor at this college. Kind of like one of these young
Look at him go.
kids that are just like super ahead of his age. So he is, I think, the youngest professor, youngest male college professor. He set a Guinness World Record for being an 18-year-old college professor. Let's say, hypothetically, 18-year-old is teaching your class. Are you going to take that kid seriously? You as in you right now. Like, let's say you go to a class and it's an 18-year-old and trying to tell you how things work.
Depends on the class.
You think so?
Yeah. I think if he's 18 years old and he's teaching at like a college level math class or something like that. Yeah. I mean,
you think so? Okay,
like,
you go that, or computer science.
Yeah, life experience doesn't really play into stuff like that. Like it's very like knowledge, nuts and bolts. But if they're like a philosophy teacher, then I'm going to be like, okay, what do we got here?
Finance.
Yeah, I mean, even finance. I think there's financial, things that are just, facts that he could be on.
I don't. I'd be more like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. Yeah, but you got to grease the local politicians. You don't have that.
See, there's life experience. That'd be for an MBA class.
I would have, I think, in the back of my mind, even though I shouldn't resist it, I would have a hard time respecting the authority of an 18-year-old college professor. Honestly, I would have a hard time.
I think if he's 18 years old, I think he would be better at like not demanding respect in that way. Like managing a classroom better than that. So, but you never know.
You just have to have a really good comeback. Like, no, you.
No, you. Yeah. Uno reverse card. Just give him a card. There you go, reverse. No.
All right. Do we want to read the results of the poll?
Yeah. What do you think? How are you thinking this went? You think
I think the question, should you go on vacation if you are in massive debt? I think I'm in the no camp, and I guess I would say this might be like a 70-30 thing. No, I guess.
You're way off. You're in the no camp, and it's an 11 to 89 split. It's almost a 90-10.
Wait, which way's the 90?
Well, 90% of you are wrong and say no, and then 10% of you or 11% of you are right and say.
All right, so 90% say no, you should not go.
I mean, we have 124 votes. This is really good for a fill-in host and all that other stuff. So people are engaged. But man, that text line, I'm going to check one more time to see if there was anything else in there. But
should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt?
Yeah.
No, I feel like I have to be Dave Ramsey to some people. Can you afford it? No, then don't do it.
Yeah, that's a good advice though.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was fun filling in for Annie Frey today, and I hope I'm back tomorrow, same time, Friday, back same time. And wow, we're a day after the primary election. Now we head off to the November election. Maybe we get a little break from political ads, at least for the next week. You think we'll get at least a week off? Wouldn't that be nice?
We'll get a break. Mark Reardon's going to talk about the results of the Missouri primary, so stick around if you're interested in that.
Mark Reardon is fantastic. Don't go anywhere. It's 97.1 FM Talk.